This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode is brought to you by HelloFresh.
Well, hello.
Hello, what are you up to?
Fresh.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, shit, I did it again.
What have you done?
It's on loop.
Oh, my goodness.
What's going on?
It's on loop.
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't on loop.
But it's on loop.
It's on loop.
Oh, now I'm on loop.
Oh, my goodness. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me, as always, is my co-host on loop, Nick Mason.
It's a hell of a week for podcasting, let me tell you that.
Why do you say that specifically?
Because there's big news.
There's big news. Look, I'll do the rundown of the show.
Please do.
And I'll let people know that there's time codes in the description if they want to jump to a specific point in time. We've got news. We've got some big deaths this week. Some big villains, not real life villains, cinematic movie villains.
Yeah, it's
that
very
we
sad.
want to remember. We've got some Metal Gear Solid casting for the movie. We've got some Netflix Daredevil news. Hawkeye started filming. Bloody, there's a bunch of stuff happening. What else we got here? Plastic Man, but maybe some kind of different kind of situation.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Snyder Cut news. Some the first info on first reviews for Wonder Woman 84 starting to trickle in.
Interesting. We didn't get to see it.
Isn't it, Mason? But I'm trying to figure something out. I don't know. We'll see. But worst comes to worst, we'll see it when everyone else sees it like a fool.
Right?
Yeah. And then, of course, big HBO Max news over at Warner Brothers where they're releasing all of their blockbusters to streaming next year, which we will talk about. Again, time codes in the description. Also,
That's
I think
right.
there was supposed to be Van Helsing news and I didn't put it in.
Oh, my God.
They're doing another Van Helsing or whatever. Did you hear that?
No?
Yeah.
Is Hugh Backman?
He's not Hugh Backman. I think they're doing it's a reboot. So maybe it's in the modern day. And
They could get Tal Backman, son of the guy from Bachman Turner Overdrive.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's So High's own Tal Backman.
That's right, yeah.
I know him. I remember
Yes.
him. I remember the year 2000, Mason, or 99, I think specifically.
Mate, if you remember the year 2000 or 99, you weren't there, mate. I'll tell you that much.
I don't think it was really that kind of year, was it?
No, it wasn't at all. No, it was very,
There was a lot of.
very
I remember there being a
straight-laced.
lot of bongs.
Uh-huh.
That was like a big thing, but I remember being like, "This isn't for me, mate."
Wow, you were just
Not for me,
running
yeah.
the minefield of them. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I just think if you're going to do it, there's better ways. I feel.
Hey, speaking of the 90s, I have a piece of news.
I love news.
That I just remembered earlier. This is sad news, unfortunately. This week saw the final collapse of the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico. The telescope.
Why do you mention that specifically?
Well, because
though?
in the 90s we had, of course, the film GoldenEye,
Yeah.
where the big finish finale, 006 versus 007, took place. But you can look it up. There's video. There's drone camera footage of it just like the final cables of it snapping and it just collapsing to the ground.
It was not in use, wasn't it? They were going to tear it down anyway.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that right?
yeah. It was already heavily damaged. Yeah.
That thing was crazy. I remember seeing that in that movie and being like, "That's probably not real." Turns out it's real.
Yeah, in November it was determined it would be too dangerous to repair the aged observatory and it would have to be demolished.
Are they going to build another one there?
Now they're going to turn it into a skate ramp.
That'd be so rad. If I
Right?
skated, oh man,
Yeah,
I'd love
that's
that.
right. You'd take the pilgrimage, wouldn't you?
Then again, how far you get to the bottom?
yeah.
Like
You'd
there's-
run out of momentum.
Yeah,
before
that's
you
what
got
I
to the
mean. You
other
wouldn't be
side,
able to. Yeah, you have to kind of scoot your way up there. You need to put some more stuff in the middle.
What about you put a hyperloop in there?
It's not a bad
You
idea.
go down it, shoots you out at speed of sound. You die.
You jump over the corpse of Sean Bean and you
Yeah.
keep going.
That's right.
Wicked. Yeah, I love it. I'm into it.
Very cool, right?
Anyways, in other bits of sad news,
Oh.
David Prowse has passed away at age 85. They think it was, I believe it was COVID related.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, what often happens with COVID, it's like pre-existing conditions, or you're of a certain age, and it can affect you that way.
Yeah.
People who don't know, David Prowse was of course the body of Darth Vader.
Yes.
And not all, but many of the stunts. So he the imposing figure of all of the mannerisms now, which they copy when they bring him into new stuff. This is all developed by David Prowse. Famously, also really heavily screwed over by Lucasfilm in terms of payments.
It's supposedly he was one of the victims of
This movie didn't make any money.
the
Hollywood accounting.
Hollywood accounting. What is it? You get he was promised a percentage of the net profits.
Yeah.
But in Hollywood there's never any net
Never
profits.
make any money.
Because there's always too many expenses for some reason.
Tough, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a pretty good innings at 85, but that's a big loss.
He also
obviously.
trained Christopher Reeve.
I was
for
going to
Superman,
say, yeah. Christopher Reeve was as skinny as a twig
Yes.
before Superman, and they actually had to go back, I believe, and reshoot scenes because he'd grown so much in musculature because of David Prowse's involvement.
Also trained Carrie Elwes. in all his
Oh, the
various
sword fights.
physical attributes in The Princess Bride. Yeah,
yeah, that's
and
cool,
sawing
isn't
his own leg off.
Did he really? Oh
Yeah,
my God!
he was like back and forth,
Back and
forth, sharp side down, sharp side
Oh,
down.
what was he always doing?
He was doing sharp side
flat of
towards
the
the
blade.
air. Yeah, flat of the blade, just slapping it on there. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that'll work eventually.
I guess it would. Yeah.
But if he's in a saw situation, it's like the movie's not called
wait for erosion to take
or
place.
slap your leg off with the flat
That's
of a blade.
Right, yes.
I mean, I watched that movie,
Yeah.
sure. And the other huge passing was Hugh Keays-Byrne. People
yeah.
might know from Immortan Joe from the Mad Max Fury Road, but he was also the villain in the original Mad Max movie from the 70s.
That's right.
So early 70s, I think it was late 70s, yeah. So also, of course, he was Martian Manhunter in the version that nearly got off the ground.
Oh, Justice League
Justice
Mortal.
League Mortal, the George Miller version, of course, directed the Mad Max movies in the late aughts. So yeah, big personality, a huge part of that latest Mad Max. That was really
Definitely,
cool
yeah.
that he got not reprise the role, but then come back into the franchise. And it's kind of really hard to just like stake a claim as a really iconic cinematic villain. There's only like a handful, you know what I
Especially
mean?
in one movie where it's
Yeah.
like,
The movie's off the bloody dome, mate.
right? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. But and just the fact that these guys, like these titans of like Hollywood villainry, passed at the same time is it's a massive tragic coincidence. But yeah, I mean their legacies are obviously, they're cemented. There'll probably be some great fan art of like them all in a diner with probably Hannibal Lecter and Heath Ledger's Joker or whatever.
Yeah, they're all hanging out.
They're all hanging
yeah,
out. That one's playing pool and
with his
one,
lightsaber. David Prowse is
yeah.
shooting pool with a lightsaber.
Two of the Jokers are comparing knives or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Jared Leto's at the glass with his face pressed against
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, because everyone hates him, Mason. Yeah. So there you
And
go.
Morton Joe's drinking a big glass of water, and everybody's enjoying that because
that's
the
right.
water was
That's
quite
right.
scarce.
The water was quite
in that
scarce,
movie,
wasn't it? Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. So there you go.
Anyway, that's a shame.
It is.
This is from.
Go on.
I just remember this. This is from Stephen Merchant.
Oh, yeah, I know Stephen Merchant.
You don't know him personally, though.
No, but I know him.
You know of him
When
All
I
right,
met
fine.
him and we're
Okay, well,
friends.
this is me. He texted me this.
Oh, did he?
It says,
Steve did.
Yes,
Sorry.
Mr. You know is Mr. Merchant, sir. Now this is just a tweet from Stephen Merchant. It says, "Email from my dad about David Prowse, R.I.P., who was from my hometown of Bristol."
Yeah.
So this is from Ron Merchant. Just thought you would like to know I had the honour of being thrown out of the Glen in Clifton for smoking on the dance floor by David Prowse. He was very gentle and carried me out.
Yeah.
So I guess he was a bouncer before he was a...
Yeah, he was. Well, he was also a bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Stephen Merchant's dad is in episodes of The Office. He's
Yeah.
like the janitor who stares at the camera.
Yeah, right.
That's quite fun. So, yeah, there you go. So, Deadline are reporting that Jordan Vogt Roberts, I never know how to say that, he directed Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
He's doing the Metal Gear Solid movie. Or maybe it's just called Metal Gear, or maybe it's just called Solid Snake. I don't know.
Well, I don't care for watching that film unless the role of Solid Snake is being played by a charming Star Wars alum, maybe.
Well, it depends on what you think of the sequel trilogies, because I think he's good in them.
Okay, right.
So I don't know. I don't know if everybody would be on board.
It's Oscar Isaac.
It's Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like a long time back? It might have been last year.
Galaxy
before.
Far, Far Away?
Yeah, sure. But that's a good joke. But what I'm saying is, Mason, I now forgotten because you did that.
Because the good
and I'm
joke.
just thinking
today,
about
yeah.
the good joke. But
yeah.
Boss Logic and him had a conversation about. I remember one of them put it online. That was like, can you mock up some Oscar Isaac Solid Snake artwork?
Wow.
And he did, and that's
Yeah,
kind of where this kind of came from. So the director reached out and was like, "What would this look like?" And there you go. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if this is true, which it seems to be.
You know, it'd be really funny
What's that?
do you remember, so for people who don't remember, Metal Gear Solid 2, the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2,
yeah.
everybody expected you were going to be playing a Solid Snake again.
Because that's what they told you. Also,
Yeah, it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
But then they did a little turnaround, and it turned out, for the most part, you were playing as this guy Raiden.
Yeah.
Raiden, who was like more like an anime
Blonde
kind of
ninja
blonde,
boy.
like smooth ninja boy kind
Yeah.
of thing, and there was outrage. What I'm saying is we make Oscar Isaac real smooth, and he's Raiden.
that'd be pretty good. Or you
Yeah.
you swap it out completely.
Yeah.
like a different actor,
Different movie.
someone people hate.
Yeah.
and just being like, guess what? Carrot Top is the star of this movie.
Right?
And it's
Yeah.
Raiden or whatever.
He's
Raiden.
Ginger Snake.
And he's old because
Yeah.
people don't like the old blood, do they?
No.
So they age him up. So this is a incomprehensible franchise to me, and I don't like it.
It's only incomprehensible to you, James, because you skip the cutscenes And
No, I
of every-
didn't.
Yeah.
That was the game that made me realize I don't have to watch cutscenes.
But you do, because you don't understand.
I don't understand. I did watch it, but it was just like, what's Liquid Ocelot doing? Snake, what are you doing? Why are you carrying a nuclear reactor or whatever? I don't know. But then the last cutscene I remember was like,
he confused Revolver Ocelot with a
Shut
different
up,
character
Mason,
called
I don't
Liquid
care.
Ocelot that he's just made up. This guy's loopy. He
And
doesn't
then
know
at the
nothing about this
end-
franchise.
the end of the game was like an hour and a half or 2 hours of cutscene.
Yeah.
And then it's like it ends in a grave and somebody has a heart attack. I can't remember. But it was like, play for 40 minutes. Guess what? Watch a 4-hour cutscene.
Yeah.
It's a fucking horrible game. And I'll never forgive it.
Is that one of them? One of the characters you kill. I think it is Revolver Ocelot. You kill him, and then he gets his arm cut off, and it gets put on another dude, and then the spirit of
Takes
Revolver
him over,
Ocelot
yeah.
goes into his
I think
brain.
I think that's because he's the villain in 4, but I think that happened in a previous
Yes, it did, yeah.
game, or maybe at the start of that game. I
Yeah.
don't remember. I hate that game, Mason.
How are they going to simplify this into 2 hours?
Well, you just do it like whatever the first one was.
Yeah, probably,
That's
yeah.
it, and you put the guy.
It'll
who can-
probably just be Metal Gear. It'll just be like he's got to get into a facility and stop Metal Gear.
That's probably right. And do you know? Do you think that because there's a famous moment in that game where you meet some kind of psychic dude,
Psycho Mantis.
and he tells you to and he reads what's on your memory card. So he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I see you've been playing
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, this game." And it's like people are like, "Ooh, that's like." Would there be something similar in the theater where it's like, "I see you're eating crunchy M&Ms."
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Some kind of audience interaction. Or remember in that
It'll
game,
be D-Box. It'll be because also in the first level in that when you fight Psycho Mantis, he asks you to put your controller on the floor and then he moves it with
Yes.
telekinesis, right?
Yes.
So just D-boxes all the seats and all your popcorn goes flying.
That's a great-
And you
and
have to
it-
buy more popcorn.
And in the lesser theaters that don't have that, the ushers just come in and swat the food out of your hand with a broom.
Yeah.
Is that the same game that makes you reset the system?
That is. Ooh,
It's one of them, isn't it?
yeah.
It might be one.
One
Maybe
of the
it's
yeah
two.
one of the games. No, one of the games that or it might be
Like it looks like it crashes.
There's a mission fail at one.
Yeah.
One of the games there's a mission fail, and when it's normally a mission fail, there's a small bit of the screen where it's like your dead body's lying on the ground, but
Yeah.
but when it says fish and mailed or something like that, and then you're still playing in a
You still
little
move
corner of the
about.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
There's so many options.
how are they going to turn all of this great stuff?
Just get rid of it all.
Yeah.
Just find a
Okay,
Metal Gear.
Okay, but what is the one element that they're going to keep from the video game?
the Metal Gear. You got to find a Metal Gear.
No, but I mean, what's the one gameplay element they're going to?
Sneaking.
Do you think it's going to be the
Boxes. He's going to be in a box.
Yeah, he's gonna be. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a box, or it's gonna be he's gonna just smoke some delicious cigarettes.
Totally. Maybe attach a balloon to somebody and like lift them off. You
Yeah.
know, that's that thing that he does.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool. Do you think they're gonna bring in that woman who breathes through her skin?
so she has to be
In
nude
a
all the
bikini?
time. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's not weird, is it?
No,
Video games know what they're doing.
God, there's so much weird stuff in there.
So weird. I didn't watch the one where you carry box. I didn't play the one where you carry boxes.
that-
for Monster Energy or whatever? The recent one with
Was that the one? So the creator of this game, all these games, what's his face?
Kojima, yeah.
Hideo Kojima. They stopped making these games because they had a falling out, right?
Yeah, Konami treated him really bad.
And then they still had the IP, so they released another game after he'd left. It's just a zombie.
It was
it's
a
just
zombie game,
shooting
which is
game,
mostly just used like assets from 5 or whatever,
Yeah,
which
right.
apparently is a good game. But also apparently that game's very unfinished and rushed towards the end and whatever. But now Kojima works for
Himself,
whatever else
right?
and does his own thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's do more news.
Okay.
Did you see that Hawkeye had started filming?
I did see
And
that.
in addition to that, we got some information. The dog's in it.
Yep.
He's got the hearing aids because
He does,
often
yeah.
in the comics, Hawkeye has
He's hard of hearing,
deaf
yeah.
or hard of hearing. And Haley Steinfeld is confirmed as Kate Bishop.
Nice.
Which is terrific casting. That
Unless
was-
it's a coincidence.
could
Like
be
maybe she just
coincidence.
happens to be walking a dog that looks like a pizza
okay,
dog.
yeah, with a bow and arrow.
And maybe it so happens that Jeremy Renner was maybe playing his best-selling album at like ear-splitting volumes in his own house.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
blew his own eardrums out.
Maybe she came up and she was like, Jeremy Renner, and he's like, I'm filming, get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm filming
maybe.
the Hawkeye TV series, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what people have captured on film.
I think that's also certainly
Yeah.
possible, yes.
There's also some revelation in terms of who else is in the series, and Florence Pugh is going to make an appearance.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, is the new Black Widow, I guess.
Yep.
Because this looks like it's set after Endgame. And
Yes.
as we know, Black Widow fell off a cliff and smashed her heady in
That's what happened, yeah.
Endgame. So
you got a boo-boo.
she did. So Florence Pugh
Yep.
is new Black Widow, I guess.
Sick.
That is sick.
Yeah.
But until time and bringing people back from the dead and whatever.
For sure, yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
I agree.
They're not going to have that because the thing about because we for our one of our additional podcasts, the Big Sandwich Classic Comic Book Club, we talked about the Hawkeye comic book upon which this seems to be based, and Black Widow is in it, but more of a supporting character who's like, "Why are you such a loser, Hawkeye? What's going on?
Money? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing with this? What's going on?
Yeah, why are you deaf, idiot?
So I hope maybe she's just going to show up and be like, "Why are you deaf, idiot?" And he's going to be like, "Who are
I
you?
don't know you.
Why are you so mean?"
It was in Black Widow's will. She told me you had to turn up and make fun of you. Yeah, so there you go. The other thing is what happened.
Oh, yeah, that was in the will. It was like, please be a good friend to Hawkeye and rib him just like I used to rib him kind of thing. But she's one of the people who can't quite
Doesn't
carry
get
it off.
Yeah.
Hey, you dumbass.
Your dog sucks.
Stop being a deaf dumbass.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff, isn't it?
Netflix, apparently, so the rights that they have to Daredevil have reverted back to Marvel.
That explains the hashtag Save Daredevil campaign that I saw this week.
So there you go. What are they going to do with that? What would you like them to do with that?
Just put him in a movie.
Do you think they need to be like, and previously on, or just like, no, this is what he's up to now? He's been a lawyer. He was a lawyer, and he's still a lawyer, and now he's just going to do further adventures. Like, how much do you need to go, like, there were dragon bones under New York?
You don't need that.
Saying that?
Oh, you know what? I would love a reference to it. Like, again, if so many of the rumors / clickbaits are to be revealed and he's brought in as maybe Spider-Man's lawyer or something like that,
cool.
I would just love a line where he's like, yeah, this is easier than dealing with dragon bones under New York or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that time I was he was crushed to death.
The building fell on him.
But then he wasn't. Then he was alive and fine
again.
He was
all right.
Yeah.
God. The guy's good at getting up.
I would, you know what? If they just put him in, like Peter Parker needs a lawyer, and he's at a hearing or something, and then Matt Murdock just shows up and he's like, "Listen, I was dead, and then I was back. I was crushed to death, dragon bones."
And Peter Parker's like, I don't know
just roll
where to
with
start with that. To be honest,
yeah, I would love to see Charlie Cox come back as Daredevil.
That'd be great.
It's a great performance.
I think there's I don't think there's a person in that I don't really like. I think the only thing would be is just train your Iron Fist guy a little better. Then you're on your way, mate.
Yeah.
So that's
Again,
cool.
I would have loved to see him in Endgame, just in like defending a smaller part of New York, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. From whatever.
Yeah, from whatever. Just regular street crime. Just some people
fine
who
with
are like,
me.
oh, the world's ending, so I guess it's time to steal some DVD players,
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Deadline reporting that Gal Gadot is in the franchise Heart of Stone, which is going to be a female spin on action franchises like James Bond or Mission Impossible.
Oh.
We recently did, this will be releasing before Christmas, a commentary for Wonder Woman, the 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about in that how before she got Wonder Woman, she was kind of like thinking of giving up acting. And
yeah, she'd done some Fasts and some Furiouses.
And then she got thrown out of a plane or whatever happened. And but she was Wonder Woman, and now this, career's taken off
now,
again in a big way.
Is this a pre-existing thing? Have I heard of Hearts of Stone?
It might be
else?
like it could be like a Jack Reacher-esque series of novels.
Oh, it might be, that's true.
Or Salt.
Could be like a Salt, yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Let me just check this. Let me just use my computer to access information.
Okay. Just that's locally on your computer?
That's right.
Huh.
It's an original international spy thriller franchise from Sky Media.
Oh.
So there you go. So I think there's definitely room for something like this. I think
something original in this landscape.
Well, it's not
James?
really original because it's like James Bond, Mission Impossible, or whatever. But why not, man?
Uh-huh.
I think when we talked about the franchise, I was like, hey, maybe they should do more, female-centric comic book movies. And I think I said, like, they should do one every year. Or maybe they should do, maybe half of them should be. You know what I mean? Maybe just do a bunch of different stuff with different types of people. Mm-hmm. But, cool.
Or you could just do Batman again.
Do it again.
Do Batman every couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah. How many Batman do you want to see? There he goes, counting on his hands. Oh, no, he's run out of fingers.
9 Batmans.
Oh, he was all right. Well, then you're going to love Flashpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening here. THR, the Hollywood Reporter, are saying Plastic Man or Plastic Ma'am. That's actually my headline. I didn't say that. They didn't say I said that.
Okay, right.
Because Blacklist writer Kat Vasco has been tasked with reinventing the Plastic Man franchise as a female-centric hero.
Oh, so Plastic Man or Plastic Man, you might say.
That's what you would say. None of the headlines say that. But,
wow. They can employ us as headline writers.
Let me check. Let me Google that and see if anybody's over that, because, come on. I should be writing for the big sites, Mason. I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do it. Nah, nothing. Bullshit. The first one is Plastic Man, the result, and the second result is Plastic Product and Homewares Wholesaler.
Oh, we should get some stuff then.
I agree.
Yeah.
What a bunch of
Can
crap.
you get me a compost bin or something?
Yeah, I could probably get you a compost bin.
You probably can only buy like 50 at a time. So get me
true.
50 and we'll sell the rest. We'll make a profit. It'll be great.
People have also, if they've written it in their article, some people have written it, but no, that doesn't count, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
So Plastic Man is not a hugely famous character.
Correct.
Imagine Mr. Incredible. No.
Elastigirl?
And imagine Mr. Fantastic and whatever.
Yes. Uh-huh.
He does that stuff, doesn't he?
Yes.
Probably some other DC-specific things.
James.
Can he be a liquid? I can't remember.
So, well, Plastic Man is probably the most versatile of the stretchy boys.
Right.
So, like, Elongated Man can just sort of be he's just a bit stretchy.
He's a Stretch Armstrong
He's
fellow.
a Stretch Armstrong kind of fellow. Mr. Fantastic is also
Really bombastic.
yes, that's right.
Thank you.
Wow, he's done it again.
I've done it again.
Oh my god! But also he's stretchy and indestructible. That's kind of his vibe.
Yeah.
And Plastic Man is more like he could turn into a tank and like fire stuff.
So you can do molecular stuff.
Yeah,
can't
he can make complex mechanical
Yes.
shapes out of himself. Like he could turn into a rocket and like at least fling himself.
You know, and like in Terminator 2, and there's like he can't make like complex weapons. This
Yeah.
guy can do that.
This guy can do it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's not a huge amount of backlash because this isn't a popular character.
Yes.
But there's still a bit of like, what's next? Bloody Black Panther, but he's white or whatever. You know, it's just like
Sure. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
folks. That's
yeah.
exactly the same.
That's what I'm saying. We have the same argument.
no.
No, I don't really have that. That's a dumb thing that only
Yeah.
idiots who are disingenuous say. But yeah, why not? Plastic Man, do a version of this and whatever.
Yeah.
And next news.
Do you think she will keep her nickname E.L. O'Brien?
I don't know what that means.
Plastic Man's nickname is Eel because he was a former small-time criminal named E.L. O'Brien.
I appreciate that you think I would get that reference.
Okay, right.
You think I'm that much of a nerd, Mason?
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Collider reporting.
I'm just saying it's not a very ladylike name.
No, that's fine though.
But she
you can
could
mix
be-
it up.
she could be slippery.
Star Trek. It's bloody. The lead is called Michael Burnham. It's fine.
That's true.
Anything can be anything.
And Miles O'Brien, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah.
Snyder Cut news from Collider. I didn't get that either.
Deep Space Nine.
I don't know these things.
He was on both Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
I don't know any of your references this week, mate.
He was like a science engineering guy.
Science in Star Trek. No wonder nobody likes it. Stupid show for nerds.
Well, he was Irish, like the British actor Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh yeah, people don't like that, do they?
Look at it all.
He should stop doing British accents if he doesn't want people to think he's British.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Anyway, I like him. I think he's great. Collider reporting the Snyder Cut. This is via Warner CEO
Okay, I'm
Jason Kilar. And this is a whole quote about what's coming up and exciting times for, that shit. But the quote that's important is...
I like how you just cut through the marketing malarkey at this point.
Does anybody need me to read it out?
No.
Yeah, thank you. And this... and you know what I
We
also...
can all read it on our own time.
Exactly, which we won't. But I always appreciate in a website, and they don't all do this, where the quote that you're looking for is in bold.
Yes.
So it's like, I can skip everything else.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is the quote, but it says, and this little thing called Zack Snyder's Justice League coming in a few months as well. So it might be like, could be, before the mid-year.
Yeah.
If not earlier.
Could be April.
Could be, even earlier. Could be out by now.
Oh my
There's a gap between when we record and when this goes out, and it might have just fit in that slot.
Could be out right now.
Oh my God.
We should close your laptop, but then reopen it, open up a VPN, and then open up HBO Max.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Then put in your American credit card details.
Yeah. And
you're
then they ask me, like, sometimes when you try to do that for, like, streaming sites overseas, it's like, who's your provider? Who's your service provider?
You're
I'm
like, I don't know, AT&T, I don't know.
You got me. And then it's like, because you got to put it,
You've got to put in their password.
Yeah,
as well.
whatever.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, you guys,
You absolute
pretty
dogs.
good. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks for funneling me to Pirate Bay, which I would never do, Mason. Which I would never do.
I understand.
Anyway, what do you think about that? Sooner rather than later.
I would love sooner
Get it done, mate.
Get it done. Get it out of here. Rest of the year, Justice League hot takes.
Yep.
How did somebody else besides Zack Snyder screw this up so badly? It's got to be someone else's fault.
Let's
Keep the
go
hot
for
takes
it.
coming.
Let's go for it.
That's right.
But speaking of DC, though, Wonder Woman 1984, it's got a bunch of early impressions. The embargo, I'm told, from Dave Lee Down Under, who has seen it as well.
We know Dave Lee.
We know Dave Lee.
He does some great Disney stuff.
He does great Disney stuff. He's got a great podcast, which I'm going to be guesting on maybe in the next week, depending on what happens with my kids.
He does a great Borat impression.
He does a great, he does. I was going to say, yeah, I'm like, look, I can probably do it, but at the last minute I might be like, my kids are flipping out and I can't do it.
Yeah,
So they're
literally flipping out.
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen a baby do this many somersaults before, you'd say.
But apparently it's good. People are saying it's really good and like a breath of fresh air and like a natural sequel to the whatevers and
they're saying Blue Monday plays constantly on a loop behind
love
it.
Blue
But you
Monday.
don't even mind.
which version? The original version or the orgy version?
Both versions simultaneously.
Wow,
Yeah,
that would get out of sync very quickly, wouldn't it?
it does, yeah, but they just keep them going.
But they'd eventually come back in sync briefly, right?
Yeah, and then you feel relief.
But then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it
I
gets
understand.
worse.
I get what you're saying, yeah. It's like when you're sitting at the traffic lights and there's like blinkers on and you're watching the blinkers and they're two different cars and they're out of sync and then they're briefly in sync and then they're out of sync again.
Yeah, right.
Good stuff. Is that just me? Am I the first one? Is that a big people?
Andy Matthews, who we know from his great podcast,
Andy
Think Tank,
Matthews.
he used to do a bit about, maybe it was like it was either a bit or a short story, and it was about how in the future everything like gets turned into points that you can redeem for money.
Okay, yep.
And or happiness points or something like that. And one of them, being in your car while the indicator lights match was worth 1 point that you could trade in for money later. So
Very good. So someone funnier than me thought of that earlier.
years ago, probably a decade ago.
I probably heard it from him or from you reciting a great joke. Yeah. Good stuff. All right.
Well, that's how things are relatable, James.
Yeah, those things are relatable, aren't they? Yeah. So there you go. So also, again, that commentary will be up soon. We're going to put it up. We're going to break the cycle of what we do on Big Sandwich because normally it's 2 clickbaits a month, a movie commentary and a book club.
That's right.
We're going to try, and the commentary's not due, I think, until next January, but we're going to move it up before Christmas, before Wonder Woman 84. But the other thing we were going to do, and this one is going to be free to the general public, we're going to do a Christmas commentary, aren't we?
Yeah,
and maybe
we are.
put it out a couple of days before Christmas. You said Die Hard. I said Jingle All the Way.
Maybe we should put it to the vote.
Maybe we should run them in sync. And then,
because they'll briefly be in sync.
They'll briefly be in sync. So we might put a vote in Patreon and also probably Planet Broadcasting.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should put Jingle All the Way and Die Hard together, run them together, and then also Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Put them all
Perfect.
together.
Yeah, that would be a nightmare, but imagine. What a nightmare. I wouldn't enjoy it.
Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon is a Christmas album, you know.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, I mean, anything can be if you have it on Christmas.
That's true, yep.
Anything can be that amazing. I kind of want to do Jingle All the Way because I hate it.
Oh, I've never seen it, so that'll be
but also Die Hard. So it's like, I feel like with Die Hard, I'd be like, can we just watch Die Hard silently?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a good point. Yeah,
but I'd happily do Die Hard. Yeah, but we'll probably just put that up on YouTube, and
cool.
So that'll be for everybody, I think.
Nice.
But
so we're going to buy the rights to one of those movies, and we
have to just put the audio up and whatever, and maybe I'll do it. We'll film us and we'll wear Christmas hats.
Okay, great.
That involves some efforts. That probably won't happen.
So we'll probably do it in this room, audio only,
as we often which
do.
Would be fun too.
Uh-huh.
And if we're going to do the wavy line, which we sometimes do, we might do it like John McClane's hairline, and that can be the wavy audio line. Wouldn't that be fun? Anyway,
I was thinking a lot about Bruce Willis this week.
Yeah, I saw it. Ralph the Movie Maker. Yeah, he did it.
I didn't see it.
He likes looking at like the filmography of like Steven Seagal and all the new stuff that Bruce Willis does.
Yeah, right.
And just go through them and be like, this is a weird thing that he made and put no effort into.
Yeah.
So it makes me go, oh, good.
And I literally went to Google, and I know we've discussed it before, but I literally went into Google this week, and I'm like, why does Bruce Willis keep making movies? Yeah. And there are a few articles, but they were far from conclusive. So.
Yeah. It seems to be, from what I've gathered, from this and like other stuff that I've seen, that they budget him for $5-10 million or whatever it is, and then they put like 20% of that into the actual film, and he like gets the rest of the money.
Yeah, and it's a day's work.
Yeah, he turns up for like a day, and it's mostly the back of his head, and it's somebody else and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't care, and he sucks. It's true. It's true. I don't know how to tell you.
But it felt like he could do.
Why do it? Is he broke? He couldn't be.
You know, here's the thought I had, because he's been divorced at least once, right?
Demi Moore,
Yeah.
Or Demi Moore.
And I mean, she's a successful actor also.
Yeah, she's fine.
But I wonder if maybe
like alimony.
Well, that's the thing. Like, let's say maybe he owes like $1 million a year.
Maybe he does.
And rather than taking that money from like the money he's earned from like Die Hard and Pulp Fiction and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He's on principle. He makes a terrible movie every year. He does one day's work, and he's like...
Once a year?
Several times a year. And he goes, here's your money. This year it's called Hard Kill 2020.
Yeah, right. Okay,
you know?
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is the theory.
He is married at the moment. He was married in 2009 to Emma Hemming Willis. So there you go. Good luck, Bruce Willis. You're doing God's work. If God hated us. Okay.
I think he's a decent man.
Is he?
He seems like a nice enough man to me.
He seems mean in interviews.
Oh, good point.
And to like
interview
directors.
stories about other people have told.
And like doesn't like try and it is rude. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is really nice.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Should probably get out of the
I'd
movie
love to
business,
interview him, but like genuinely and be like, what are you doing?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's also the thought that I had is I'm like, what position can you be in to genuinely say, Bruce Willis, why do you keep making movies? Like, if I was his best friend, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying it. But also, if I was interviewing him for a podcast or something, I still wouldn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, because you don't want to be, like, you don't want to like railroad him,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because maybe he's like, maybe he has severe mental health problems, and this is just a thing that helps him or whatever.
right,
Or
maybe.
maybe he's just a prick. I don't know. So yeah, so I don't know. Let's just let him be.
Let's leave him be.
Let's leave him in
Let's
his
leave
natural
the man be,
environment,
yes.
and let's stop bringing it up every
Yeah.
week. It's an enigma, all right? We don't know.
Because it can't be that he loves the craft of movie
No,
making and he has to keep
not that.
working because he only does a day every time,
Yeah.
right? If he loved the craft of movie making, he's like, got to keep busy to keep the old wheels turning, then he'd do the whole movie, but he doesn't.
I feel like there was a point in time where like he'd be developing projects and like he'd choose them very carefully. He's in Pulp Fiction.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like I feel like he's in a point in his career where he could be like a George Clooney, where he handcrafts like things that he is, and he's really careful and he works closely and collaborates with everybody involved. But nah.
Well, because one of the articles I read said, we'll get off this topic eventually. One of the articles I read said that, his stars dropped and he's like, Liam Neeson, so he can't just.
Not really,
But that's what I'm
though.
saying. Like, it's not like, and he's like, well, if you're an action star in your 50s or whatever, 60s, you can't, choose whatever you want. But again, he's got enough money and enough content. He can just walk into any movie studio and be like, give me a role in something.
Yeah.
Like an interesting role in a movie. It doesn't matter what it is. And they'd be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even if they
he
didn't-
could do a day's work on Avengers, whatever. I don't know,
Yeah.
not that, but anything really.
Yeah,
Just be like, put me in the new Van Helsing movie we talked about.
He could be like, can I be in a Marvel movie where I'm a guy who's mean and rude and snarky to the Avengers because I think all these movies are dumb? And they'd be like, yeah, of course. That's meta and we love it.
Yeah.
But he could go to bloody Wes Anderson and be like,
He-
put me in another
Well,
Moonrise
yeah,
Kingdom
exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know what to tell you. We don't know.
If you personally know Bruce Willis out there, don't ask him.
But just
Because that would be rude.
What's the vibe?
Just give us your best impression. Email in, give us your best impression.
Yeah.
Not your impression of Bruce Willis, because that'd be like, but like, give us your impression of how you think he's going.
Yeah.
Probably fine.
Probably fine.
Maybe he just wants to be in a band again.
No, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think he wants to play music. Like I think that he always kind of wanted to do that, but he does this.
The return of Bruno. That's what I say.
That's right. I wouldn't buy it, but if he wants to do it,
Right.
I'd make fun of it.
He and Jeremy Renner could go on tour.
Renner wouldn't do that.
You don't think so?
Not with Bruce Willis. He doesn't need him. He doesn't need him.
That's a good
You can
point,
do it with Haley
actually.
Steinfeld. She does music and stuff.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's what you do. They bring the dog. People be like, hilarious, a dog on stage.
Do
Oh
you
my
think there'll be
God.
like a karaoke scene
Yes.
in Hawkeye?
I would
hope
love
so,
that.
yeah. Like who can't fight the moonlight.
That's right. And then new Black Widow's like, but you're deaf. It's like, oh, you're bad at. You're not supportive. Like
You're bad at singing.
Your ribbing is rude.
Even if you weren't deaf, your singing would be bad.
I like this idea of a mean Black Widow who can't read the room. Anyways.
You're not as good as the last Black Widow.
Anyways.
Yes.
Whew, I'm hungry, Mason. I'm hungry because I've been thinking about delicious HelloFresh meals and it makes me hungry.
Why don't you just eat some crap? Just some old,
No,
just
I
some
wanna eat
takeaway
good
crap,
food.
some crap. Just go to the drive, get some crap, and you eat it, and you're like, ooh, nah, I don't like this. Ooh, and I don't have the satisfaction of making it myself. Ooh, why don't you do that?
Can I offer an alternative?
I guess.
Okay, so because HelloFresh offers convenient delivery right to your doorstep for easy home cooking with the family. And the recipes are easy to follow and quick to make with simple steps and pictures to guide you along the way. And you can save 40% by using HelloFresh versus shopping at your local crap grocery store, as you recommended to do just then, Mason.
James, I'll stop you right there.
And it's more convenient too.
You had me at HelloFresh.
So I don't need to do this?
No, you probably should anyway.
Okay,
I think.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I believe they are paying us for this. So.
Yes. HelloFresh delivers fresh, high-quality, pre-proportioned ingredients so you can make meals that are delicious and nutritious. And over 90% of the ingredients are sourced directly from growers to ensure peak flavor and ripeness. And since they offset their operation, travel, and shipping emissions, HelloFresh's carbon footprint is 25% lower than store-bought grocery-made meals.
My goodness.
I know, that's from the University of Michigan. You can also save 40% by using HelloFresh versus shopping at your local grocery store. And again, it's more convenient. Here's the thing, Mason. Here's something. I try HelloFresh. I bloody love it, mate.
I need it.
I'm all over it. I recently had the Asian pork meatball tacos with creamy slaw and sweet chili glaze. Again, easy to follow, delicious, pre-proportioned. I'm not like, I've got too many meatballs, but not enough glaze.
Right.
The perfect amount,
Perfect
Mason.
amount together.
That's
and that's
right.
now, what's great about that is you hear about that. You hear that with the glaze and the slaw and the meatballs, and you're like, too hard for me. It's not hard.
It's not hard
I can
at
do
all.
it. I'm an idiot.
Even this idiot can do it. And here's the thing, you can do it too. If you're an idiot, you can do it. Or you don't have to be an idiot.
You can be a normal person.
You can be a normal person. So if you go to hellofresh.com/weeklyplanet90 and use code weeklyplanet90, as in 90, you can get $90 off, including free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/weeklyplanet90 and use code weeklyplanet90 to get $90 off, including free shipping. Bloody get into it if you want some bloody good food, mate. Carbon emissions, offset, all those kinds of things. It's delicious. It's not some crap that Mason suggested up top.
Yeah, I regret that now.
This is better, isn't it?
I somewhat regret that now.
Good,
yes.
good, good. On with the show. Warner Brothers' entire slate for 2021, which is kind of Wonder Woman will kick this off this year. They're going to be doing 17 films that are releasing to cinemas, but at the same day are streaming on HBO Max.
Now, it was a little bit unclear in a lot of the articles and on Twitter.
Yes.
A lot of people seem to have gotten the impression that they were releasing literally everything on the same day. They are not doing that.
Why would that be the case?
I don't know, but some people were like, is that true? It's not true.
No,
It's not true at all.
That's definitively not true.
Yeah.
The idea is that they'll run for a month and then they'll go to other. They'll push them out on like Amazon and Apple and.
Now
whatever
you
else.
might know the answer to this question.
I don't know anything, but go on.
No. But what I mean is you can use your Google machine.
Okay,
When
yeah, I can do
if you
that.
have an HBO Max subscription, and when Wonder Woman comes out on HBO Max, do you have to pay an additional fee for Wonder Woman, or
Great
is it
question.
included?
And no, this is all part of the program. So I think the idea behind that, the system that the Disney Plus kind of tested with Milan, I think that didn't do well.
Right.
And, well, we don't really know because they don't release official numbers on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the idea behind this is
They got two. They
Yeah.
got me and you.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing is, like, theaters and movie studios have this backlog of films, and it's going to be 2 years worth of films that will, I guess, have to release in the 1 year, right? And the longer the movies stay on the shelf, they're not making you money. You're losing money because you're not putting them out.
They're losing value.
Losing value. That's right. The year 1984 gets further and further away, and people are like, we don't understand these references.
Exactly. People are taking the discs off the shelf. They're looking at them. They're smudging, getting their dirty hands on
Gross,
them.
yeah.
They're scraping them when they put them back on the shelf. Oh, it's
Christopher Nolan's just tutting the whole time because that's to him is not cinema. You know
that's
what I mean?
exactly right. Scorsese's there as well. Coppola, they're all there
They're
saying
all-
this is not cinema.
Yeah, and then people are like, didn't you release something to Netflix? And he's like, yeah, but it was not very good, was it? It was all right, I guess.
All these films are becoming more not cinema by the day, so you got to get them out there.
Got to get them out there.
Right.
Digitally, though. So I think if Christopher Nolan had a movie coming out at this point, this would be the exception. But I think the release of Tenet, like what's happening with Disney Plus and the numbers that they're getting, and I think the fact that they're sitting on all this stuff and they need to build HBO Max, these are all factors that are contributing. I don't think necessarily in the short term this is going to make them a lot of money, but it will in the long term if it depending on the amount of subscribers. Because again, like with I don't think a lot of people would see every one of these films. I probably won't see every one of these films, but it doesn't matter. You're still paying every month for who knows how long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it might not be for eventually people I think will twig. Like once the bad situation is over.
Yeah.
I think people will eventually go, hey, they're not releasing all these movies. They're not releasing huge blockbuster movies on HBO Max anymore. But that could take 3 years or 5 years. And eventually when you can't finally cancel your subscription, they've gotten, $10 a month for 5 years.
Exactly.
Or whatever it is, so.
And the other thing about this is they're saying it is a unique 1 year plan, but that is dependent on how this goes.
Oh, yeah.
Because if this goes very well, this is not a 1 year thing. This is a forever thing.
Yeah. And also, if again, we get a vaccine and it gets distributed enough that we get some immunity going around.
People want to take it.
Yeah, for sure. Then they might go, in light of recent events, we're not releasing this stuff
I think these are locked in no matter
so?
what. I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
they'll deviate from because I think if you say to people sign up and you'll get these 17
Oh,
films,
that's true, yeah.
you'll have to.
People will
do it.
sue.
People will. People
There'll
will
be a big
upset.
class action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I think this is a 1 year plan if it doesn't work. And I think also there will be exceptions. I think like the next Christopher Nolan thing, this won't happen. He's like he has say, and obviously how these things are seen. But apparently also a number of these filmmakers involved in this didn't know they were doing this.
Yeah,
so
right.
they just sprung it on them the way that everybody was. So we don't really know how they feel about that because the director's not going to be like, boo.
That's true.
know what I
We'll
mean?
know in some years.
3 years.
Well, yeah, we'll know when their particular Warner Brothers contracts have expired and they're not
Exactly.
doing any more work for them, and then we'll know.
Then we'll know.
we'll know.
They'll lash out on TikTok.
With a dance?
I don't know, Mason.
Okay.
But we'll know.
The Wachowski's just doing a dance
That's
on
right.
TikTok.
Well, it's only one Wachowski, The Matrix, yeah. So what I thought we'd do, actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about. I think, first of all, I think this is going to inform everything. I think this is going to, I think they saw what Disney Plus are doing and they probably know that a bunch of Disney Plus stuff, including Black Widow, are probably going to streaming. Probably. We don't know that.
We don't know.
They also,
But they probably know.
I'd
Like,
say
there's probably scuttlebutt
they
in between the
definitely
Marvel
know.
guys and the Warner Brothers guys,
There's definitely scuttlebutts. But,
Down at the bullpen.
yes. Stock.
Stan Lee's bullpen.
Oh my God. They still use that?
Yeah.
Rad. So IMAX stock fell 7%. AMC stock fell by 17%. Cinemark, these are US brands, obviously.
Yeah.
Cinemark sell.
What about Greater
fell-
Union?
But that's a Australian thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have HBO Max.
Oh,
a lot of countries don't, so probably not.
What about the Village Drive-In at Coburg?
What do you think? What's going on with that then?
I don't know.
I've never been. Is it good? I think I saw Jumanji there actually. In 95, not New Jumanji.
Okay, right.
I'll ring my dad, ask him if that's the case. I can ring him now if you want.
No, that's okay.
Okay, cool. I'll ring him after.
Ring
and then
him
I'll
after.
record it and I'll put it
in here. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So cut to you and your dad having a conversation about whether or not he took you to see Jumanji in 1995.
Correct.
Okay. How much of that do you think will be you explaining what movie Jumanji was?
He knows Jumanji. I'm impressed by some of the stuff my dad watches. He's like, I've been watching Schitt's Creek. I bloody love it. And I'm like, I would never have thought that you're loving Schitt's Creek. And he's like, yeah, it's great. It's funny. I'm like, cool. I thought you only watched British murder mysteries. That's
Right?
cool to me.
My parents love Breaking Bad.
There you go.
But
Yeah,
they
my
don't
parents love Breaking
love
Bad.
Better Call Saul.
Well, that's because they haven't seen enough of it, Mason. It's an equally good show.
Right, I'll let him know.
Please get them on the phone.
I'll call him up. Hang on.
Yeah. So AMC also, they had a big shit fit about this.
Oh, the head of AMC was like,
Yeah.
meh.
But they also struck a deal with, I think it was either Paramount or Universal for this shorter release window. So they also kind of kicked a bunch of this stuff off.
Also, they have a channel
Yes, they do.
where presumably they release movies.
Probably they do that.
And somehow that
Yeah.
is very hypocritical of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I'm not saying that AMC, the idea of the shorter release window, directly contributed to this, but you can't be like, you were doing some of this.
Yeah,
Like, and also you talked about how you weren't going to work with certain brands, and then you ended up.
right,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it sucks. It sucks for cinema chains.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does. It's awful. But again, as we talk about whenever we bring this up, what do you do?
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
if people aren't going, what do you do?
All right.
Yeah. Anyways,
I was going to say, I read a reaction from Steven Soderbergh,
I know him.
famous filmmaker. He said the streaming push is just a reaction to an economic reality that I think everybody's going to have to acknowledge pretty soon, which is that even with a vaccine, the theatrical movie business won't be robust enough in 2021 to justify the amount of P&A, which I assume means,
Poo and arms.
yes, poo and arms.
Isn't that your family coat of arms?
Right, yeah. It's in the background in Ocean's 13. He licensed it out.
Yeah, right.
You need to spend to put a movie in a wide release. There's no scenario in which a theatre that is 50% full, or at least can't be made 100% full, is viable paradigm to put out a movie. But that will change. We'll reach a point where anybody
Yeah.
who wants to go to a movie will feel safe going to a movie. He's right. I think, movie theatres will bounce back. Like, I don't think this is the end
In
of...
some form, yeah.
Yeah. I think
It'll be different.
Look, I think the reality of it is that some cinema chains will collapse.
Yeah.
Maybe some individual cinema.
The smaller, like,
Yeah.
the mom and pop cinema chains.
Yeah, but
that
I also,
sucks.
like just, an individual cinema in your town or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
But I think a lot of and a lot of times there has been a push to being like, okay, well, they sell other things, or they, you can pre-book gift certificates or things like that.
Yes.
And so if you can help out a local cinema in that way, you probably should. But I think, there's no scenario in which the cinema going experience will go away. I mean, people love it's electric.
Yeah, it'll be around to some degree.
Yeah.
But again, I think it will look different. I think it's going to look depending on where they can make the most money. So if they realize that, we'll make billions of dollars by, in a couple of years, then that's what we'll get.
Well, is that, he goes on to say that's the holy grail. The theatrical business is not going away. There are too many companies that have invested too much money in the prospect of putting out a movie that blows up in theaters. There's nothing like it. It's all going to come back.
Okay.
But I think Warner's is saying not as soon as you think.
Yeah, well, that seems to be what they're saying. Here's a question for you, though, Mason.
Yes.
How do you feel about this? Because you famously, like me, are mixed on the cinema experience because of people who go to the cinema.
Go to the cinema with you, yeah. But that's the thing.
That's why we go separately, because we hate our cinema habits.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm always saying boo cinema, and you're always saying yay cinema.
That's right.
Doesn't sync up.
People don't like it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think from the perspective of the United States, I think this is a really good idea.
Safe idea.
It's a very safe idea. Like, and again, we're like Australia, Victoria specifically, is currently COVID free.
Yeah,
there'll probably be resurgences and
certainly, yeah.
But currently, you can go to see stuff at the cinema if you want to.
See Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. It's re-releasing on December 17th.
Is it for real?
Yep.
Wow.
We did a caravan of garbages on them.
Caravan of
very good. Early on BigSandwich.co. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think.
But even then, I'm not still 100% comfortable
No,
with
neither am I. And even though, as someone who I work weird hours, and so I can go, and you as well, we can go, 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, and there's literally nobody else in the cinema. And that's really that would be the only scenario in which I would feel fully safe going to the cinema.
In a mostly empty cinema.
In a mostly empty cinema, where you can have at least 2 seats either side of you and front and back,
if not more,
more clear. And that's really the only reason I went to see Tenet this time around.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done it with even a half capacity. I wouldn't have gone. Yeah.
But for America especially, where there's no guarantees,
and a lot of Europe actually, I guess. Yeah.
And again in Australia, not to harp on, but in Australia, even in this scenario, you still had to wear a mask and wash your hands and social distance and all that sort of stuff. Like I wouldn't in a million years go into a cinema in America right now.
Absolutely not.
A million billion years. So I think this is a great.
Yeah.
I mean,
and for me, it's not even about me, because I think if I got it, it probably wouldn't kill me.
Right.
But maybe I have something.
Famous last words.
Yeah, well,
James.
that's the thing. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I could kill someone I know.
Yeah.
Or it could have long-term effects on me or someone I know.
Yeah.
So I'm not risking
Your
it
butt
to
could
see.
fall off.
My butt would fall off. I'm not risking it to see The Little Things, released January 29th.
Yes.
Starring Denzel Washington.
Speaking of your butt falling off.
Rami Malek, yeah. Anyway,
I was going to say, so I think it's great for America, and it's also great for this territory, Australia, because they forget we exist, and as soon as anything gets a home release, it immediately gets pirated for the rest of the world. So,
which I don't want to do.
No.
So maybe release them like digitally everywhere in the world. But
that is. I mean, I don't understand what is stopping HBO Max expanding to the rest of the world.
Because a bunch of HBO Max stuff goes through Foxtel here.
No, I know it does, but do they have an exclusivity arrangement with everything?
They must.
I
don't know. I'd
right?
imagine so. Or they're thinking that they can get more from cinema chains internationally who aren't in heavy lockdown.
Yeah, probably
That
true.
might be
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But again, you're opening the door for piracy there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah. I don't know.
my reference was going to be, Zach and Mary make a porno.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to that. It released like 6 months later.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't understand why they can't just surely they're not going to release Wonder Woman 84 on the Australian streaming service that gets a lot of HBO content here.
No, it's going to cinemas.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
I'm with you. I agree with all those things that you said.
Thank you.
We're gonna go through the schedule, the release lineup. Often we do this at the start of the year for like new stuff that's coming out. We're like most anticipated, whatever, and we'll probably still do stuff that's not on here.
We'll do the same episode.
We'll just plug this in. I'll even put the bit in about me asking my dad about about Jumanji. But yeah, so we're just going to go through the list. And I've got a little synopsis for each. This is from Decider.com.
Okay.
So the first one out of the gate, and I think this actually might have moved, it's still up in the air, is Mortal Kombat, January 15th.
Huh. I was not aware that was a Warner Brothers brand.
Of course it is.
Huh.
You remember it's in the logos when the game boots up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's NetherRealms and it's Warner Brothers and it's other things.
Right.
You know, now they have 8 different companies.
Yeah, well, that's
owning
why
them.
I tune out, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's directed by Simon McQuaid.
By Simon McQuaid and filmed in
McQuaid?
Adelaide.
Adelaide. Oh, it was filmed in Australia, wasn't it?
It was.
So it's obviously the video game of the same name, marks the 3rd installment of the successful franchise, but it's blah, blah, this
Successful franchise.
Well, a franchise, yeah.
franchise.
So Ludi Lin is playing Liu Kang this time around, I believe. And it's, it seems like it has like the cast appropriate for the people from the areas that they are from. So they haven't whitewashed everybody, which is good, I think. So
Scorpions from Hell.
Scorpions from Hell, that's right. Katana the good one with the reptile face, or the other one is?
Katana is the good one with
And
the normal
Melina.
face. Melina is the evil one with the reptile face.
Very good.
Yeah. Johnny Cage is from Hollywood.
He's from Hollywood, mate. So it's Mortal Kombat again, and why not?
Yeah.
I'll see this. Oh, I wanted to put a thing in. Would you actually go to the cinema for a regular year?
Oh, and here's a good one. Here's a question for you. Do you think watching this on your television would impact it negatively? Like, are you going to like for each one of these? Well, I mean, I think the answer is probably yes for a lot of these.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's they're but some people have a big decent. We've got decent sized TVs. Some people watch everything on a laptop
Or phones or whatever.
on phone sometimes. Yeah,
matter,
yeah.
So
Some people watch HBO Max on one of those old CRT monitors that are just
That's
orange
right.
and black.
I think for a lot of these, though, these big releases, I think I am going to do the put your phone away, close everything, focus. I'm going to try to anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know that will last, but I'm going to try to do it in a way that I would do if I went to regular movies.
I think that is going to be an excellent sort of
thing I would do. Brave, would you even say?
No, none of that's correct.
Okay.
No.
I thought you were complimenting me.
Okay, it's going to be the coward's way out. But no, I think that's going to be an excellent yardstick in terms of, is this actually a compelling movie?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Put your phone there. Maybe put it upside down so you can't see it.
Yeah.
So you're not
I have to put my phone across the room because I'll
Interesting.
just look at it,
Right.
even if they're not doing anything.
Oh, yeah.
So, because I'm a fool.
James, this might be the era for like really knowing if movies are good.
Finally.
Right?
Because we didn't know
We
before.
didn't know. We were just guessing every single time we
Yeah.
review a movie, and we just, honest to God, we just flip a coin before the podcast started.
I mean, Manx in black and white, it seems like it should
right?
be good.
Right, but exactly. We flip that coin, and on the rare occasions when we have a different opinion, it's because we flipped the coin and it landed on its side and it just stood there.
And we
on
just
its
don't
side.
know anymore.
Haunted coins.
Haunted coins.
Right?
That's what, we're going to find out about these things.
Yeah.
The little things I mentioned, January 29th, Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto. It follows Sheriff Deputy.
Yes.
Denzel Washington, he teams up with the detective Baxter, Malek, to catch a serial killer, Leto, in California. Well, Talent is seeking out the details of the case. He strays from the rules with his own unconventional methods, etc. So 7, I guess, ish.
Sounds 7-ish, yeah.
7-ish. They
I would not see that at the movies if I did not have to.
Yeah, that sounds like a thing
It's
that
a
would come to
small
Netflix
screen.
and it's not
It's a
good.
small screen. I don't think it would necessarily be not good.
It's also was coming out in January, which means it's probably not good.
Probably not good then.
Or
Great.
not great. It'll probably be like The Bone Collector, which may or may
Yeah.
not also have
God,
Denzel
remember that
Washington.
era?
Yeah. It was just Bone Collector sequels.
Right? Just
No, but it was. It was like Halle Berry, Angelina Jolie,
Yep.
like
Ashley Judd was
Ashley
in there
Judd.
sometimes, yeah.
To be fair, like I love a lot of those movies.
Uh-huh.
Like I love an Ashley Judd movie, mate. I'm a
Yeah,
big
for sure.
fan.
Uh-huh.
Next up, we recently got the
Bone Collector 3, still boning.
still boning. Can't stop boning.
Bone Collector 4, the Miracle Mile or whatever. What was that American Pie
Oh
sequel
yeah,
called?
that one. Whatever
The
one.
Golden Mile was called.
Whatever it
doesn't
was. Something about a Viagra one.
Yeah,
That's how they keep boning.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean,
Keep on
for-
boning, yeah.
I saw because there's a new American Pie, like a straight to DVD one or whatever, and it's like it's a girls' rule or whatever, and people are like, oh, you've ruined.
you've ruined the-
Why does everything have to be girls or whatever?
You've
now?
ruined the purity of
Yeah.
the American Pie franchise.
If you show me a DVD collection of every American Pie movie, including the 17 that went direct to DVD, then you have the right to have that opinion. But other than that, shut your fucking mouth. This is a dead franchise. Nobody's watching them anyway. Bloody like it's like some sacred fucking movie
Yeah.
franchise.
I mean, the first one's in the Criterion Collection.
Is it?
No.
It wouldn't surprise me. There's some shit in that movie that you're like.
There's 2 Michael Bay movies in the Criterion Collection.
Which ones?
I can't remember. Let's look it up.
Yeah, all right, cool. We recently got the trailer for this one, Tom and Jerry.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Not for $1 billion.
I think this is no, I wouldn't see it at the cinemas either, but I think this would be one that I think it's a nice kind of throwback to like when they used to do the the 2D animation blended with the live action kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it's got a bit of slapstick stuff. It's got
Okay.
that. It looks like it's got more of that classic Tom and Jerry feel, which is because most of Tom and Jerry isn't them just beating each other up or
I
whatever.
guess that's true, yeah.
Yeah. And they haven't got weird fur and stuff. You know what I mean?
I guess
It's
that's
like-
probably, they do just look like regular
like
Tom and Jerry.
cartoons, and they've
There's
just
not
done
going to be
some-
any outcry for them to be redesigned.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless we want a horrible Sonic style, backwards design.
I want that. It's directed by Tim Story, though, I think he did the 2 Fantastic Four movies.
Ah.
The 2 best ones?
The 2 best ones.
I don't
Oh,
know.
speaking of the 2 best ones, the Michael Bay movies in the Criterion Collection are Armageddon and The Rock.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, they're probably, of his movies, they're probably my favourite.
Yeah.
The Many Saints of Newark. You know what this is?
No.
It's directed by Alan Taylor, but this is The Sopranos prequel.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Stars
okay.
Michael Gandolfini, who's James Gandolfini's son, as young Tony Soprano.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. This is interesting. It takes place in the 60s. Obviously, the original series took place in the 90s and the early 2000s. So I've got to watch that show. So then I can watch this
Yeah,
and
that's
go,
right, yeah.
very good, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would only go to the cinema if I watched the entire series of The Sopranos before and I really liked it.
Okay.
What about you? Would you go to this?
Yes.
There you go. So you're a fan.
Yeah, I love The Sopranos.
Do you love the episode? Do you think they're going to put young Robert Patrick in it, who owns the sporting goods store?
Yes.
That's an episode I've seen.
There
I haven't
we go.
seen
Okay,
many, but
right,
I know
right,
that
yeah.
one.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
I think it's going to be packed to the rafters with the stars of Australian TV's Packed to the Rafters.
Really?
Yeah.
Hugh Sheridan?
Yeah, Hugh Sheridan's going to be in it.
Love it.
Yep.
Great. What about this one?
Hugh Sheridan.
He's a guy. He's an actor.
Yeah,
He's
you're
in things.
absolutely right. Good pull. All right.
Thanks. Anyway, but those last 2 were in March. This is all subject to change. They'll probably
Yeah, for
space them
sure.
out over the year or whatever. This is Reminisce. Stars Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Tandy Newton, Daniel Wu. Directed by Lisa Joy, and it's a sci-fi drama. Follows Nick Bannister, a man living in Miami
That's
in
the
the future.
fakest name I've ever heard.
It's a real name.
No, it's
Apparently
not,
it's based
no.
on a real man. He's
No,
real.
no, it's not.
And
No,
there's a
no,
picture of him pointing to himself, and there's a speech bubble that says, "I'm real, bro. I'm just keeping it real." He's not a skateboard.
That's great.
Anyway.
Wow, sorry to. Wow, look, I made a real assumption there, and I apologise. I'm man enough to know when I'm wrong.
Nick Bannister is real, yes.
Yeah.
When rising sea levels have transformed the
Stupid
city,
name, though.
Nick has a unique ability to let his clients revisit any memory in their past. And when he meets May, Ferguson, he immediately falls for her. But another client's memories make him question what he thought he knew about her.
Oh,
There was a movie where Robin Williams was a guy who would collect your memories when you're dead, and he'd
Patch
cut-
Adams.
Yeah, Patch Adams. That's
the
right.
clown doctor who'd steal your memories when you
No,
die.
He would cut them into like a trailer of your life, which would like play at your funeral or whatever.
Huh.
So this sounds like it's got similar things to that. So look
okay.
at your memories. It's probably a lot of people like, when you see like a memory in a movie, it's always like a couple in a field, and it's like, who's doing
Yeah.
that in the long grass? Here I'd be like snakes. Like that's
Yeah,
all I'm
right.
thinking when I'm in a long field in the hot weather.
Or it's like a little kid and there's like a cake and it's like there's like twinkly music and
Totally,
like
yeah.
the candles are lit and it's all soft focus and it's like
Maybe someone's pulling them along on a red cart.
yeah, for sure, towards the cake. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad.
And eventually you'd be like, I want my money back. I don't remember this at all.
It's just a bad Photoshop job. It's just your face just stuck on whatever.
It's a group of people who they're all bragging about their memories that they got from this dude and they're like, why do we all have the same memories? I wasn't a little girl in a little blue dress being pulled in a red wagon towards a cake. I'm a man. And they'll beat him up.
They'll beat him up. Next up, we've got in May, Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh,
this is long delayed.
That's going to suffer being
I'd
not at
see
the movie.
Reminisce, I think. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I need a trailer, but I might see it.
Yeah. I would want to see the trailer and not go.
I like who's in it as well.
Yeah. I would want to see it and not go, oh, this is just that
The
movie
Robin
you made, the
Williams
Robin
movie,
Williams one you mentioned.
Stealing Memories.
But also, yeah, I'd want to see the tone of it.
I wouldn't rush. I
Yeah.
need to see it,
Yeah.
More of it before I definitely see it. Godzilla versus Kong, I would 100% see.
At cinema. I think you have to.
Yeah, for the big screen experience.
Yeah.
So it's a sequel to the other ones and whatever. It's directed by Adam Wingard.
And when I say you have to,
you don't have
if
to.
you can't, you should probably see it at home.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely. I would definitely. Yeah, well, I'd watch it. Adam Wingard, who you might know from. Let's see what else has he done.
Now, that's a great name and a real name also.
Real name. There's a picture of him, and he's like, it's not my real name. He's on a he's on a Segway. I don't know.
Oh man, come on, Wingard. you've let the whole side down here, mate.
He directed the Blair Witch reboot from 2016.
Okay.
He directed Death Note, which everybody hated.
Yep, you sure did.
But I didn't mind it because I'd never seen Death Note, so I'm like, what an interesting idea in a weird movie.
Uh-huh.
But he also did The Guest. Did you ever see The Guest?
Nope.
That was the move. It's like what's it like? It's got bloody what's his
don't
name
even
in
know
it? No,
what
it's
it's
got Dan
like.
Stevens in it.
Okay. Oh yeah. Of Allegiant fame.
That's
Yeah.
right. And he goes to he's a ex-marine or something, and he goes and visits the home of his buddy who died, and it turns out maybe he's a psychopath, but he's also trying to help them at the same time, but he's also maybe insane.
Oh.
It's really good.
Huh? Is that on a streaming?
That would be on something, yeah.
Cool.
But definitely watch that. If you haven't seen that, it's also Terminator-esque. It's also Halloween-esque.
I feel you've
It's got
recommended
that
this,
vibe. I probably
this before,
have.
and I've been like, that's intriguing. I'll definitely get to that.
Yeah, it's
and
good,
then I
man.
just threw my phone in a bin or something.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, that could be good. I mean, I didn't like the last one, but
Yeah.
but whatever. I liked Kong Skull Island though. What about this, Mason? I know you're a big fan of this franchise. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh.
Vera Farmiga is back, Patrick Wilson. So after, also known as Conjuring 3, the third film in the horror franchise, etc., about Ed and Lorraine, and they look for a murder case which is a suspect is a demon or maybe he's possessed by a demon and demons. You know those famous grifters from real life who this franchise is based off.
Yes.
Yeah, but people like these, don't they?
They like them. They like watching a movie and not a lot happens for quite a long time, and then something.
And then bang!
Yeah, then something moves, and you're like, James, The Guest is on Shudder.
There you go.
Yeah, the famous horror movie streaming
That's a
service.
good streaming service. My brother likes the Conjuring movies. I will not see this.
Which brother?
The one you don't like.
Yeah, no, that stacks up actually.
Are the Nun movies based?
They're from that universe, I think.
Yeah,
from the
and then
Conjuring
there's other
universe.
ones as well. Annabelle's based
Annabelle
on that.
Creation, yeah, but Annabelle Regular.
Annabelle
Annabelle
Regular.
Unleaded.
Annabelle No Sugar.
Annabelle Premium.
Very good. What do we got here? I didn't have another one. So
No,
I'm
I
just
didn't have
gonna-
another one either. I
Okay,
was
good.
racking my brains.
This one I would see, and I would take Claire, and we'd have a fun time in the Heights.
Honest to God, I thought you were going to say we'd go together and we'd have a fight.
Yeah, we'd fight in the car park after the movie.
Which one's in the Heights?
Like,
again?
but like Fight Club
yeah,
style.
for sure. Like old Queensbury Rules style.
That's right.
Putting your dukes up. The crowd would gather.
Crowd would gather.
Yeah.
Directed by John M. Chu, who I like. Did he do Crazy Rich Asians? I think he might have. And he might have done some of the G.I. Joe movies. Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah. He did one of the G.I. Joe movies. And he did Now You See Me Too, which is your favorite movie.
Not true.
It's your favorite movie.
It's not, though.
And so
Not even the title's
In
good,
the Heights
God.
is the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical he did before Hamilton.
Ah, I see.
And I like the trailer,
Uh-huh.
and it's about like a community in Washington Heights, and it looks fun and hip hop.
Zero interest. Also, Annabelle Cool Ranch.
The dressing.
The Doritos flavor.
Okay, cool. That's not. I don't know because that didn't tie into the other things we did, but yeah. I mean, I guess Mason.
What a stick in the mud.
Annabelle stick in the mud. I can just say anything. This is one too.
Yeah, that was great, actually. Yeah. Annabelle mic stand. Oh, I'm loving this. This is great. Annabelle Zero Sugar.
Zero Sugar. Wait a minute.
Nah, I invented that one.
So on July 16th,
Yes.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Zero interest.
LeBron James, Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, I'm back in.
I would see this. Did you ever see The Goat? I think he was in The Goat. Which was a
LeBron?
basketball. Yeah. No. It was Don Cheadle. Yeah, it is. It's about this dude. He was one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but he never made it to the NBA because of various personal and drug related problems. I remember liking this movie. I don't know if it holds up, but yeah, Don Cheadle starred in that. But anyway, so I would only go to this if my son. We watched Space Jam and he went, yeah, cool.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Has he? Is he? So he's yet to see Space
He
Jam.
hasn't seen Space Jam.
It's not that he's seen Space Jam and he went no.
I'd have to explain all the references.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I
That's
mean?
from Pulp Fiction.
That's Lola Bunny, I'd say.
That's Foghorn Leghorn, I guess he's racist when you think about
That's
it.
when you think, yeah. See, the ref, it's quite clever because Marvin the Martian is the referee because they're playing Martians, but he's also originally a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
So he's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's actually great that they've done that. And he's like, I'm in the other room.
And you'd
I'm
be,
not watching this.
and you'd be like, some people think Lola Bunny's quite hot, but actually, I like the fox from the
I
Robin
wouldn't say
Hood
that,
animated
Mason.
series.
I wouldn't say that because that's not actually true. That's something you would say if you were in the room.
Only if I was doing an impression of you. I'd be like, hey kid, come here. Here's some stuff. Here's some weird stuff about your dad.
That's a good point. I shouldn't show him this.
Right?
Because like
father, like son. That's
Mason.
going to run in the family.
It's genuinely not. Look, not to kink shame. Like whatever you want. It's just not for me. It's not for me, Mason. If anything, it's for you. Anyway,
Space Jam. What's it called? Space Jam? You can
A
tell
New
them
Legacy.
something. New Legacy.
Tells
There
the
we
story
go.
of LeBron James' mission to rescue his missing son, Bronny.
Does he really have a son named Bronny?
Yeah, his name's Bronny James. Okay, I don't
Bronny
know.
James Dio?
I don't know.
Okay.
As he finds his way
better be Bronny James Dio.
That's right. And so he finds his way through different Warner Brothers movies and faces off against the villain, LG, which is Cheetor. And like the first film, Space Jam 2 also features Bugs Bunny and more Looney Tunes. I like that it's not just the monsters are back and we got to play another basketball game.
That description, like I'm in and out on that, but the description sounds interesting. You were saying
Different movies. Maybe
right?
we're going to go to all the 17 movies of 2021.
Oh my God.
That's right. I'm checking if he's got a son named Bronny.
I absolutely insist that if they do that, the Space
I know
Jam,
he does, yeah.
the Space Jam characters have to appear in the movie. Like in the movie that they're crossing over into. Like
Okay.
you go to you're watching The Matrix 4 and then just Foghorn Leghorn
Oh, they
shows
have
up
to be in it.
They
Yeah.
have to be in it for a second. Yeah.
And he's like, I see. And they're like, whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
This isn't really.
This weird Jared Leto murder mystery thing, you know.
Exactly.
Porky Pig's in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not big on the Looney Tunes anymore. I used to be.
Uh-huh.
But apparently there's some good stuff that they've kind of, they've
Okay.
been in recently. Next, we've got the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
James Gunn, obviously. Soft reboot, they're saying, standalone sequel, whatever. We know everyone who listens to this knows what this is.
Yep.
I mean, definitely the cinema for
Yeah,
me,
uh-huh.
obviously.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Suicide Squad, am I
Yeah.
right?
And if if we go to the cinema, maybe there'll be like some sort of standee. We can hold a big mallet.
Yeah.
Or
You can do that at home, though.
you can pretend you have no arms.
Who's got no arms in that? The guy who
Nathan
takes his
Fillion.
arm off. The arm fall off man.
Yeah. That's right.
That's
yes.
fun.
Yes.
He better do it. He better be that character. And if he's not, they should fix it. So he is.
You should fix- Yep.
I don't care how they do it. Make it happen. Looks good, and I'll see it in October 1st. This was supposed to come out around now, but Dune, or is it June? Denis Villeneuve.
Yep.
It's obviously a reboot.
And it's a classic Danny Villeneuve. It's not going to make any money.
Well, maybe it will now. Maybe
Well,
it'll get more eyes on it.
Yeah, maybe this will be his biggest earner
By
ever.
this time, you've had like 14 movies or whatever
Yeah.
released, so they're just
That's
like,
true, yeah.
I guess we're watching Dune.
Yeah, maybe the. Do these feel like they've been arranged in a way? No, they couldn't have, surely. I was going to say.
I think these are just the last release dates
Yeah,
that they've
yeah,
got
yeah.
here, but I think these will definitely shift.
I
or
wonder if they'll shift in the sense of, okay, well, this one isn't going to. We feel like this one isn't going to do very well. But
When did they film Space Jam 2? Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, good question, right?
Yeah.
Like when did they have a chance?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's all in the volume or whatever.
Let me check. Well, they're using other movies, so they just
yeah.
need a green screen.
Sure they do, yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Maybe it's set entirely within the Snyder Cut.
Oh, wow. That'd be incredible.
But what I'm saying is, would there be possibility that they go, okay, this movie isn't going to do too well, but if this one does great, and then we put another one that's going to do great, people just won't unsubscribe.
Yeah,
in
right.
between
Okay. Yeah.
kind of thing, and they'll watch it by default.
Gotcha. You might be right. Production wrapped in September of 2019. So
Oh.
it did film. They made it.
Oh,
There you go.
good
So
for them.
Dune. Yeah, I would definitely say it's not that I don't like Dune. I don't know a lot about Dune, but I'll see anything Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be the only one there, but I'll see it.
I think this one will suffer if you can't see it on the big screen.
Probably, yeah. Oh, we should have made that a thing in this as well.
Did we not?
I don't know.
Okay. I thought we did. Oh, well.
Well, if we did, we didn't talk about
we
it
really
enough.
did enough, yeah. I think it'll suffer because you want to see them big sandworms.
I
You want to see them huge in the big screen. You want them coming at you.
I feel
You'll
like
be spooked that they're going to
hopefully,
eat you.
maybe by the time this does roll around, there'll be more opportunities to see that in the cinema by October, or the world over.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Elvis. It's directed by Baz Luhrmann.
Okay.
It stars Austin Butler, Tom Hanks. I think, so Butler is Elvis, Tom Hanks is the Colonel or whatever,
Makes
I think.
sense. Okay.
And basically it's a biopic, or biopic, whatever you say at home. And it's just about, like, what he's up to. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's these last...
Oh, yeah.
It's these films since The Great Gatsby. The last film was Great Gatsby in 2013, which I didn't see. Did you see that?
I saw it on something, Netflix probably. I thought it was not bad.
Wow.
That's
A
right.
stirring endorsement. And off the back of that, did you see
And I endorse all of Gatsby's actions.
What?
All of them.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
He's the main character and therefore the hero.
That sounds about right to me.
That's right.
I mean, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, everything's about him is great. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
All I know is he has a lot of parties, and people
Yeah.
are like, who is this Gatsby?
I've just seen some tweets this week of people being like, "Oh, that great Gatsby boy!" Like, there's a lot of people who can't understand the idea that if somebody is the main character of a story, they're not necessarily somebody to be, looked up to, kind of thing. I've seen a lot of
They could probably alter this film, though, with the inclusion of Foghorn Leghorn.
right.
And I think that would probably make him more relatable.
Yeah.
You think?
Elvis or Foghorn Leghorn or both.
I meant The Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just
yeah.
take him back to 2013's The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't like Australia. I haven't seen The Great Gatsby, but I do like Moulin Rouge and I like Romeo and Juliet.
Uh-huh.
And I probably like others
Is this
of his
endorsed by
movies.
the estate of Elvis, or is it like Stardust?
No, I
and
think
it
it's
is
like
not
a real
endorsed?
one.
Okay,
I
right.
think it's a real one.
I don't think I want to see any more music biopics unless they're different or good in some way.
Well, that's the thing about Baz Luhrmann. You don't really know what he's going to do. You know what I mean?
I guess that's true.
So I think there's a chance.
I'm going to wait for reviews before I see this for free.
Yeah, I
think.
won't. I wouldn't say. Also, I'm not really an Elvis fan, to be honest. So
Yeah.
it's not really. If it was a band that I loved, like
Also-
if it was a Sum 41 movie,
Yeah.
I would
Also,
go.
how could this possibly compare to the episode of Do Go On that I was on where we talked about Elvis?
Did you do
No.
the research?
No, Matt did.
Did you talk about how he married a 14-year-old?
That certainly came up a lot.
Yeah, I bet it would.
Yep.
A lot.
Enough.
Enough.
Look,
Strictly Ballroom, man. I mean, he did Strictly Ballroom.
I know,
yeah.
but I feel, unless they say, look, this is the one that breaks the music biopic curse of they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it.
Did you see The Get Down on Netflix?
No.
That was like a Jaden Smith kind of vehicle. It only, I think it only got a couple of seasons, but it's set in the Bronx and whatever. It's about R&B and turntables.
Wait, you're saying there's a movie?
No, this is a series on Netflix.
Oh, wait, what are you talking about? What's going on
No,
here?
The Get Down. This is a Baz Luhrmann thing I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Right. No, I
So that's
didn't
what
see
he's
it.
been
No.
doing.
Okay, right.
That's what he's been up to.
Huh, okay.
Anyway, Elvis. What about King Richard? It stars Will Smith. King Richard tells the story of tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams and their coach and father, Richard Williams. The sports drama explores how the talented sisters were influenced by their dad and how they made them who they are today. It's weird that that's the focus, like the dad, and not the Williams.
The Williams
sisters.
is yeah, right. How many tennis titles has the dad won?
It says here he won 100 in a row. So that's probably
and
why
he's pointing at himself and he's being like, I'm better at tennis than my daughters.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know anything about this guy. So obviously he's obviously had a huge influence on their life and is
Yeah.
largely responsible for a lot of the things that they've done. But yes, no, I'm not. That doesn't really at this moment. It doesn't
Yeah.
really interest me. Yeah,
Oh, The Get Down looks good though. Maybe I'll watch it. Justice Smith is in it from the Pokemon
that's
movie.
right.
And Jaden Smith and Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second.
Yeah, I like that dude.
The best. Maybe I'll watch that this weekend.
Maybe you will watch
Maybe
it,
I'll watch
Mason.
it. I like the history of that sort of stuff.
I haven't gotten around to it. What about Matrix 4, December 22nd? Let me tell you who's in it. Keanu Reeves,
Yep.
Carrie Ann Moss,
Go on.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh.
That's right.
Niobe.
Probably. So only Lana Wachowski on
Are you
board
kidding
for this
about
one.
that,
No, she's in it. It's got a name on it.
With both the Smiths have got a movie coming out
Apparently.
this year. Oh.
Who knew? Famous actors have movies that come out.
I don't know. When was the last Jada Pinkett Smith movie that came out?
She doesn't make movies, Mason. No, she does. What did she make? It was something. There was like a. The only one I can remember was like a. It was like a girls. What's a girls' bucks night called?
Hen's Night.
Yes, a girls' hens night.
Bachelorette Party.
Yeah, it was something like that. I remember. I can look up the films if you want. She's in Angel Has Fallen, Girls Trip. That's what it. She was in
Okay,
Bad
right.
Moms. She was
Okay.
in Magic Mike, one of the Madagascars, a few of the Madagascars, Men in Black 3. I didn't know she was in that. Yeah, she's been obviously doing TV stuff as well.
Tons of stuff.
Tons of stuff. Anyway, Matrix 4.
Yes.
I would see it even if they were like, this is the worst movie ever made. I would still see this. You could not get me to see this.
Isn't it? It's so close to coming out. I mean, a year, but still.
A year, yeah.
I thought they would
It
never.
got pushed back.
Honest to God, I never thought there'd be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this will be good.
Yeah.
But isn't it also maybe set in the real world and the
Maybe,
Matrix exists in
right?
movies or something?
Oh my God, is this going to be another Wachowski's swing and a miss that some people love and some people do not love?
One
Speed
Wachowski.
Racer? I know.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
got that Wachowski magic.
That's right.
Yeah.
One Wachowski. But Neil Patrick Harris is in as well. And again, Abdul Mateen II also.
He's
So there you
having a
go.
banner year.
Yeah.
And by that I mean he was in a TV series several years ago.
Yes, he was in Watchmen, but he was also the new Candyman or whatever
That's
as well.
right, yeah.
So this guy's everywhere, mate.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yes, obviously, Matrix 4. I'm not looking for something to like redeem the last two because they're not. We watched them recently-ish, and they're not terrible. They got some interesting ideas.
I still think they're terrible. on
Yeah, they're
balance.
not great, but so I'm whatever. I don't need them to rewrite any of those or any of that
Yeah.
stuff. Just whatever. Do whatever you need to do to make a good Matrix movie.
I think they should go absolutely insane. I don't know what they're doing right now,
Yep.
but just go completely meta, bring it into the real world, bring in
Sure.
the video games, bring in the giant ants, just go crazy.
Maybe they jump into Space Jam 2 and Space Jam 2 is like, we're supposed to jump into your movie. And then they
James,
start
you've
shooting
gone too
everybody.
far.
You said anything.
No, that's a
You
bit...
said anything.
Nah,
There's no
it
bad
Nah, it
ideas.
seems a bit cringe what you've said,
What are you
James.
talking about?
Nah, sorry.
That's rude.
very cringe.
What about this? Judas and the Black Messiah. I've never heard of this, but it's got Daniel Kaluuya
yeah.
and Lakeith Stanfield. So, like that alone, I'm like, yeah,
That sold it, yeah.
those guys are great. So it's based on the true story of Fred Hampton, the leader of the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. So there you go. And it's a Get Out reunion as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Both those guys are in that. So and it's produced by Ryan Coogler as well. Did Creed and Black Panther. Yeah. I would definitely say this. It says the date is TBD.
Oh.
So that could be any point in time. I don't know whether this would be this might be like a Netflix one for me though as well. I don't know. But if I had a spare night and I was like, I can go out because my kids are asleep.
Yeah,
That's what you can do, right?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'd definitely go and see that.
Or one's got the other one in a chokehold.
That's
And
right.
you're like, just maintain that for a few hours. I'll be back.
For a few hours.
Yeah.
These last two as well I haven't heard of. But what about you? Would you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Good
That being said,
cast.
I don't think that would diminish it. Not so.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know like what it looks like. I don't know who's in it.
I think that would be. I think honestly, for me, that's the kind of movie that would benefit from me not being able to look like. What I think I would probably be like is who's this, and I'd look them up, kind of thing.
Oh,
And I
like during, yeah,
and I
yeah.
think I'd want to be like, no distractions. Let's
Yeah.
watch this.
Well, you
kind
can
of
still
thing.
do that if you put your phone away, Mason. The ultimate test.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nah,
No?
no, I'll do it.
What about Malignant?
Don't know what that is.
It's directed by James Wan.
Okay.
Stars Annabelle Wallace and Jake Abel. Mm-hmm. And very little is known about Malignant, but James Wan is a well-proven commodity. Oh, this is very helpful. This is a description.
Okay.
He directed the first Saw movie, the first Insidious movie, the first Conjuring movie, and even Fast 7. Whatever he's got for us to watch, we'll gladly devour. Really helpful.
very, very
Really
helpful.
helpful. Decider.com. Let me look this up. Dun, 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 dun. I can't wait for whoever crosses over to the Warner Brothers joke we were doing, though. Am I right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Very good. Brought it all back. James also.
What is this?
Annabelle, Ginger, and Pomegranate.
Mason, stop. You're making me sad. It's desperate. it's there's nothing about this.
Seems-
You said it's not a superhero film. It's
Seems
a,
just more of a concept than a.
yeah,
than
it's an original
even.
thriller, not based off anything.
Huh.
So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it a horror movie? I don't know.
I'm still looking forward to that Joe Manganiello movie, that Arch Enemy one, where he's like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm,
where he's got
a guy
magic.
I'm a guy from space or something. You know that
Yeah,
one?
that's right. That's what he yells. All right, last one. Those Who Wish Me Dead. Taylor Sheridan. And Sheridan's one of the most exciting filmmakers, etc. Yes. It's an Angelina Jolie filmed. It's a neo-western. So there you go.
It's a neo. What's it called again?
Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Huh. It's a neo western.
I guess I'd say
I
it.
wonder if that is set in
The Matrix.
The Matrix, or is it set? Is it a western set in the past, but it's got like new stylings, or is it set now and it's like a modern day movie, but it's a western? Is the question.
Looking at this guy's films.
Yes.
Well, it's from Taylor Sheridan. I was like, who's that? I know him. Yeah, he directed the last Sicario movie, which I still haven't seen, which is apparently a pretty good follow-up. but he did Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
It's about the bank robbers. It's got Chris Pine and the dude who was Angel in X-Men.
Ben Foster.
Yeah.
Who was also in 310 to You.
That's right.
Huh.
And they rob a bank and they're on the run, and what's his name comes after them. Jeff Bridges comes after them. You should watch Hell or
Actor
High
Jeff
Water.
Bridges?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he's serious.
I'll
this
write it
time.
down.
Yeah, definitely write it down. It's really good. And Wind River, which did I see Wind River?
But
I did. That's the Jeremy
is that a
Renner
modern
movie.
day is that a modern day western or not?
Yes,
Huh.
it is. And Wind River again is kind of a modern western-ish. That's got Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen.
Okay.
Yeah, you should check out these. And he's doing Yellowstone, which I haven't seen, but people like Yellowstone, don't they?
Oh, the Kevin Costner show.
Yeah, people like that, don't they?
People like it.
I should watch Yellowstone. I like Kevin Costner. I liked him in Waterworld and The Postman. I loved his vanity projects.
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. That's all of them.
Nice.
That one again, I probably wouldn't necessarily see. I'd probably go, I'll wait for this, unless I had a night where I'd be like, I can make it to this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway, 2021, a solid 7 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned.
looks pretty good to me.
Pretty good.
If you had to pick one, what would you say? Is it The Matrix 4?
No, ooh, no.
I would pick.
I think that gives me that's too much. There's a risk that could be very disappointing for me. It could be great, and it could be be great, or it could be not. I don't know. I wouldn't take the risk if it's the only movie I'm seeing.
I might pick Dune
Yeah.
or The Suicide Squad. But probably Dune. If I had to pick one from this year,
Because it's
the director.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But also there's some other. This is a bloody banger lineup, man.
As I said, a solid 7 out of 10.
Solid. There's 7 good movies here at least. That's good. Anyways, is that all the things we
That's
need
all
to talk about?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Thank you for listening. But there's more show.
There is for show.
keep-
Thank you to everybody who quits listening after we do this
I
bit.
don't look at
And
the
before
analytics.
and before we go to what we read and
But
what
it
we gonna
might be.
read.
I should do. But it actually gets better after this segment of the show. I feel. Doesn't it?
So you're saying this segment, what we read and what we're going to read, is a bit of a stinker? and then
No.
gets
It
better
all
after.
gets better. It's
Oh,
all,
no, it definitely does. Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
uphill from here, as in
right.
a real slog.
Yeah, that's right. It's a real Prometheus pushing that stone uphill or whatever it is.
Great movie.
And it keeps rolling back down on us and
That's
crushing
right.
us to death.
Exactly. Here we go. What are we reading?
we
Theme
gonna read?
song. I'm doing the theme. What are we reading today? I nearly said Yellowstone because I want to watch Yellowstone now. I
Hey,
want to
James,
watch
how
it.
about this?
Yo.
Annabelle, ginger and pomegranate.
Mason, what are you doing? Is this like... I don't understand what you're doing. I mean, people... I mean, they're finding it funny that you're annoying me.
Yes.
But the joke in itself doesn't work on any level at this point.
I think it does a bit. You say that, but I haven't reached the third time I say Annabelle, ginger and pomegranate.
I'll smash it and cut your throat with it.
And that's funny.
That is funny.
Violence is
Physical
funny.
comedy.
Funny. Anyway, what have you been reading this week?
Star Wars Darth Vader. I don't know if you've been reading. I might have mentioned this before, but it's the new Darth Vader series by Greg Pak.
Yes.
And Raffaele Lenko. And it's set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And so it's a different side of Darth Vader because he's just had that confrontation with Luke Skywalker and he's like, that fucked me up a little.
Yeah, right.
I've got a lot of things. I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings. So he's doing all sorts of adventures and stuff. And Palpatine's like, if you're turning nice, I'm going to shoot electricity
It's
at you.
interesting because he seemed to be pretty into the whole I am your father bit. Like
Yeah, he
was
loved
into it.
that.
He was loving it, right?
Yeah, he had a great time.
So you're saying that after that he's like, maybe
Yeah,
I
'cause
went a bit
remember-
far. Because sometimes you yell at somebody or whatever, or you have an argument, you're like,
Yeah,
ooh,
I was
went
actually pretty mean then.
yeah, went a bit far there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you speak to someone else and they're like, nah, fuck him, he deserved it. And you're like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
But then you go away and you're like, still, maybe it was a bit.
And then you're like, man, ginger and pomegranate
Oh,
was a
no.
great joke. It was great, you think. And then you're full of regrets.
Nah.
Annabelle, ginger, and pomegranates.
Nah.
Yes. Okay.
It's all uphill. So
What's the style of this? Like, what's the art style? Is it kind of... There's a certain, like...
good art.
There's a certain...
Je ne sais quoi.
Yes, there is. But there's a certain Star Wars art that looks like the Star Wars movie posters. You know what I mean? It's pretty rare.
It's got, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously with a comic.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily get that level
And that's
of
also
detail.
unsustainable.
Exactly.
Like, they can do...
They might do the cover.
Yes. Mhm.
But no, look, it's good. I've never thought about it, but it looks like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else to tell you other than I don't know anything about
I
art,
love it.
and it looks good. But what are you reading?
I also read a comic book this
What are
week.
you reading?
Well, first I read an article on comicbookherald.com,
Oh.
which is the best Kieran Gillen stories of all time.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of Kieran Gillen.
Where are
the
you at
writer.
then? What are they pointing to?
Well, I'm a big fan of The Wicked and the Divine, which
Yes.
so Kieran Gillen's done a lot of like mythology stuff. Like he's done The Wicked and Divine, which is about gods that keep getting reincarnated as humans, and they become like insta famous and rock stars and that sort of stuff.
I haven't read any of that. I
It's
should
really
read it,
good,
shouldn't
yeah.
I? Yeah.
He did a journey into mystery for Marvel, which was like a Loki story. He did
Okay.
he did a run with the Ares, which is like the Marvel Ares. But one that I missed out on completely.
Yeah.
And it's been going. It's one of those ones that's sort of sporadically been ongoing for about 2 years.
What's this?
It's called Die. So it's.
I've been reading that.
Have you been reading Die?
Did
we mention it on here before?
No, I think I mentioned it on Suggestible, my less successful podcast.
Oh.
It's with the D&D one.
Yeah, so
it's cool.
It's Kieran Gillen writing, and then Stephanie Hans is doing the art, and so Die, the singular of dice,
Yes.
but also
Dying.
So it's basically the premise basically is that in the early 90s, there's this group of 6 kids or teenagers, and they start playing sort of this tabletop role-playing game that one of them invents, and then they all disappear, and then they reappear 2 years later, and they're all like traumatized and banged up, and one is missing an arm.
Yeah.
There's only 5 of them now. Like the creator of the game isn't anywhere to be found, and whenever anybody asks them about it, they're like, "We can't say.
Yeah.
we can't say what happened," kind of thing. And then years later, like in the modern day.
They're all 40 or whatever.
They're all 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then one of them receives in the mail the bloodied 20-sided dice that the creator of the game, like it was his signature die.
Yeah.
And then they all get together to discuss it. And wouldn't you bloody know it? They all get bloody sucked back into the game.
But they've got like kids and divorces and
yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah. And
But-
it's
and some of them love it, and some of them are like, this is where I want to be, and some are like, oh, boo.
Really good,
not
I think.
again. Yeah, I agree. It's great.
Yeah, it's the short version, and Kieran Gillen describes it as Goth Jumanji, which I think is it's not inaccurate, but it's also very simple.
I
in
think
the
that's
sense that-
that's selling it short as well.
Like,
yeah.
and I have enjoyed the last couple of Jumanji movies, but it is just like, we're having wacky fun and everything's cool and
Yeah.
you get out of it and everything's great. But this is like...
Everything is not cool.
Yeah, this is about like tragedy and loss and like not fitting in and the world...
and ramifications.
Yeah, and like the world moving on without you
Yeah.
or you changing and the world staying the same and this sort of stuff. Like it's quite grim. Apparently, I looked into it. Apparently, Kieran Gillen's inspiration for this comic book was in the 80s there was a Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, and it's about this group of kids who get sucked into a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and they're knights and wizards and whatever. And apparently the last episode written of the show had them all go back home, but that episode was never produced. So they're all technically still trapped in a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh
so
my God.
that's the idea behind
Isn't
this.
that's a fun way? That's a fun bloody,
Yeah.
Ideas can come from things.
Ideas can come from all kinds of things, can't they?
That's cool.
I think it's very
it's
cool.
great. It's really good. If you haven't read it, and you've got, I don't play any Dungeons and Dragons, but you don't really need to have a.
No, I don't
much
think
of a
so.
knowledge
And
of
it's
it.
sort of like, I think it's also based around, I mean, it was more like 70s and 80s, but like the panic around
Yeah,
Dungeons
totally,
and Dragons,
yeah.
the kids were summoning the devil and whatever. He also did, I wasn't aware of this, but I'm going to get to these this week. He did a Captain America and Batroc the Leaper comic book.
Did he?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Captain America and Batroc the Leaper.
They're friends.
I guess so. But it's more a story about Batroc the Leaper. And there was also quite recently a Peter Cannon Thunderbolt series that he did. Peter Cannon being the character that Ozymandias was based on.
All right, gotcha.
So it's a new version of that, and apparently it's super meta. So I'm super excited to read that one.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
You've been reading lots of things and thinking about things to read.
That's right. Some say reading and thinking too much. Stop your reading. Get back to your cross stitch, they say.
That's what they say?
Yep.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Should we move to the next
Let's
segment
move
of
to
the
letters.
show?
Let's do letters.
Let's do it.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters you only but take away. You know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
If you do want to reach the show, you can at #WeeklyPlanetPod or send a Gmail to nickmason@gmail.com.
Yep.
That's not your Gmail,
No, it
maybe.
isn't, not at all. But I guess there is somebody with that Gmail, so send it along and see what happens.
Weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
The dog came in just for the letters segment, got a pat, and then just ran out again as soon as the letters. In fact,
some
as the
affirmation.
letters theme was fading out, she was like, "Well, this is obviously over. Time to leave."
Imagine if she came in with a letter. It's like a physical letter. Wow. But she didn't. So
What the hell? We're both being evicted. We don't even both live here.
So this is from Stephen Sankey. Appreciate this. So a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
I think. Well, he sends us things, so I presume so. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. It may have taken them 4 decades, but they finally got him to do something on screen. You know what I mean. Hashtag The Mandalorian. You are behind, yes?
I am, but I get the the sense of things.
We are going to do a wrap-up episode when the show finishes.
Yes, we are,
where we're going to talk all about them. But
do an entire episode on our famous segment, Who Watches the TV Show The Mandalorian, James and Meso.
Meso watches 3, and then like in the weeks that they come out, and then 5 shotguns the day before.
Brackets Weekly Planet Podcast.
That's right. Interesting show. Good, interesting stuff happening. But I have some thoughts about it that maybe,
A bit controversial.
No, not really. I have some criticisms, but it's a mostly very good show.
Oh, very good.
What have you got?
I've got a couple of emails. This is from Jasmine, and very intriguing subject line. It says, "Car hit my house podcast safe."
Interesting, Jasmine.
Now, we'll get to the meat of it, but I just enjoyed the image that in her house she has a podcast safe.
Yes.
She downloads her favourite episodes of podcasts, she puts them in a safe.
Puts them on a data drive and puts them in the safe.
Locks them, not just on an iPod. She just got a bunch of iPods in there.
Loose. What if the car... Oh, no, it wouldn't because it's in the safe.
That's right.
Sorry, go on.
Good morning, Mr. Sunday and Mason. I listen to the podcast most of the day. In one of my few moments not listening, we heard a big thud and the house shook a bit. It took us a minute of looking around the house to realise a car was in our backyard. The student driver had driven over the curb, through the fence and hit the brick wall. Thankfully, everyone is safe and issues seem mostly cosmetic. Clearly, I should be listening to your podcast for protection from craziness like this.
Correct.
I mean, it's a roll of the dice, really, isn't it?
You don't really know.
Or the die, if you will.
Whoa.
Right? Makes you think.
That's good that everybody's safe and nobody died in that, though.
That's
cool.
exactly really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Can I be the official Southeast Texan of the podcast? I think we've had a lot of regional Texan requests, but yes, you can
I haven't been
absolutely have
keeping
that.
track, but yeah, that's
I
you
believe
now.
we have, yeah.
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 Cool.
It's definitely you. Everyone keep safe. Watch out for cars coming at your house.
Agreed. Do you do that when you walk down the road and you're like watching cars and being like, is this car going to skid off and hit me?
Yeah, I get the sense of that.
Yeah.
It's mostly job related. But,
Yeah, I bet it would be with you, wouldn't it? Because you're always on the lookout. Your eyes are on the prize. That being a car that's going to hit you.
You can always kind of tell. You're like, this guy's going to, he's doing it.
I do it more when I'm with my kids.
Yeah,
like
of
I'm
course,
really watching. But when I'm by myself, I'm like, whatever.
I don't even care if a car hits me. I don't care anymore. If I get a couple of weeks in the hospital, I'd love it.
Well, I figure like if it was by myself.
Hey, Claire, guess what? I hit by a car. I can't come into my house today. I'm going to go to the hospital. You're going to look after the kids. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm going to do. But I think also by myself, I'm like, I don't need to think about it because if I
leap.
saw it, I could leap. But
Yeah.
if I've got like a pram and like a 5-year-old, that's a lot to like.
Yeah, I mean,
Wrangle.
you need at least one hand free so you can do the punch the bonnet of the car and it
Exactly, and it
flips
flips
over, your head in
over,
slow
yeah.
motion, yeah.
And everyone goes, whoa.
Everyone goes, whoa.
Yeah, that's right. But this is from Hannah. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. So let's pretend that Netflix and Elliot Page decided together to have Vanya in Umbrella Academy transition, which would be incredible, now that Elliot has come out. What are your thoughts on how big or small a deal the show should make of it? Now, people probably saw the news this week of Elliot Page's transition. And of course, star of many things, including an
Juno.
OK X-Men movie, Juno, and more recently, the Umbrella Academy. And we talked about it this a bit before the show, and we realized we had the perfect answer, and we know everything.
That's correct, yes.
No, what we actually thought was this is something that they should decide together. Like
Correct,
what they
yes.
want. And I think Gerard Way also has a big hand in the series, and he's
Yeah.
obviously created the comic.
I imagine they'll have a sit down.
Definitely. So I think they said they don't plan to do anything like that at this point in time, but it wouldn't surprise me if they take that character in that direction or whatever, Elliot is comfortable with doing. So really, that's really the ball is in their court.
Correct.
So yeah, for me, it's just whatever you want to do, man. And that's really, I think, for most things in life. If
Yeah.
you're not hurting anybody, who fucking cares?
In a way, it doesn't affect our lives at all.
In a
So
way.
we could just let everyone get
and
along.
let people be happy and don't worry about it.
That's right, yeah.
Don't worry about it. So yeah.
Or we could get really mad all
yeah,
the time
all the
at
time,
everything
yeah.
and die early, mad, because it's killing us, all this stuff that doesn't affect us in any way.
Yeah, that's
Because
interesting.
we're dumb.
I might I might have to think about it.
Okay, cool.
Obviously,
But
yeah.
I mean, that's options always on the table. Is for us to just die mad
Yes.
over a stupid thing that's irrelevant to us.
Claire and I talked a little bit about this on Suggestible. What I did like about this situation is, and there was a little bit of pushback, but if this had have happened 20 years ago, this would have looked much different. You know, I mean, there's still most people are just like,
everyone would have low-rise jeans on.
Say again.
Everyone would
have low, and then
low-rise
whatever
jeans on,
as we talk about.
Yeah.
But most people were just like, great.
Yeah.
If this is something that you're happy about, then good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So good stuff.
It is good stuff.
What else you got, Mason?
Look, here's something from Admiral Hackbar.
Oh.
He says, hey there, James and Mesa from the Weekly Planet, where you talk movies and comics and books and TV shows.
Hackbar.
I was watching an old episode of the podcast, perhaps on YouTube, episode 66 maybe, where every time Mason said one of his classic zingers, a recording of a trumpet would be played entitled Mason's Theme. I demand to see a return of this theme in your next episode. I have no memory of
I
this
don't know
at
what
all.
that is at all.
I don't know what this is.
Never heard of that.
And that's when you were editing the episode.
Yeah,
So
which means I would have had to have.
we don't know what
spliced
this
it
is.
in.
We don't know what this is.
Unless Collings went back and put it in.
Maybe he's doing it.
He's the kind of guy
Maybe
that would
he's
do
hacked
that.
into your YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com. My name is James, editor at that website. With me, as always, my co-host, Nick Mason.
Oh, that's good.
That's
clever.
you doing that. That was Joseph Lisk, who
Yes.
does the What We Read and What We Gonna Read theme.
Oh, sure.
But isn't that cool?
Yes.
Do you want to hear it again?
I guess so. That's.
I don't remember what it's from.
No, neither do I.
But I love it.
But I assume at some point I pretended to be a trumpet player. So
A little bit of fanfare. Wonder Woman is getting a writer.
that's a relief.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
He's writing, he wrote Pan, the upcoming Peter Pan gritty reboot.
Oh, sure. Great.
I haven't seen Pan, so we'll see how that plays out.
See how it pans out.
Well done.
Play the theme. Play my theme. Play it. I'll do it again. Say the thing you said. I'll say the thing I said. And then we do this.
I have to find it.
Oh, jeez. Just email to me and I'll do it.
All right, here we go.
Okay, say the thing.
We'll see how that goes, I guess.
See how it pans out.
I'll have this ready now. I can't, though, because I got to read
exactly. Yeah.
Man.
And you can't leave me in control of that because I'll just do it every time. I'll do it literally every time I say anything.
So there you go. Yeah, that's wild. That must have been early. Or it was last year. I have no idea.
We don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah. This is from Kot Wun Pod. You asked for topic ideas. We did. Why not live action movies that could have been better or different in animated or vice versa? Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. So, some things obviously lend themselves to animation. You mentioned Die, for example. That would
Yes.
probably be wonderful as like an animation.
Oh, yes.
In the style of good animation.
Oh, yes.
I would say.
Yes. Like a Japanese anime.
Maybe, perhaps. Well, that's one that I brought up here. What I've written down here is, do you think Batman Ninja is a good example of that being done right, where you wouldn't really do that another way necessarily?
Well, I have mixed feelings about Batman Ninja.
You do, but I'm talking like
In a
art
sense,
style.
I don't think it's very good,
Yeah,
but
but like
it
art
looks
style,
looks
though.
great. Certainly, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there is little to no way that would work. Even the concept, I don't think, really translates to live action. If
Yeah,
it was
right.
like, well, we're going.
Is he Japanese in that? Is Batman actually Japanese?
No, he
or
goes
is
back in time. He goes back in time and space to
okay.
Japan. Yes.
It sounds good. Why is it not good?
I can't remember also.
Yeah,
But
wow.
I remember because I watched it for Matt Stewart's podcast,
Yeah, right.
Primates, and I remember watching it and going, this is, I don't know what's going on here. I don't like
wow.
it for reasons.
And what did Matt Stewart think of it?
He loved it.
Did he really?
He got several Batman Ninja tattoos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Several?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you can see, look at that photo of him. I'm like, look at me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving this. I'm on a skateboard.
He's on a skateboard.
Yeah.
The underside of the skateboard has a spray paint of Batman Ninja on it also.
Yes.
Don't you think? That would make that joke, like it would round it out a bit. Do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, good. Here's an example.
James, if your bit now is that you're getting tired of my nonsense, that's all this podcast is nonsense. So you better.
That was me contributing.
Oh,
that wasn't
good,
a dig
okay.
at you.
Okay, good.
I thought of one which I know you watched.
Yes.
But Powers.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Imagine if Powers was done like they look like they're doing that new Invincible show.
Yeah. I mean, that would be incredible. But I mean, But that's the thing. Like for a lot of these, if you do a Batman thing and it doesn't work, in animation or live action or whatever, it's fine because they'll do another one in a couple of years.
Yes.
But if you do Powers in live action,
that's it, mate.
That's it. There's never going to be another Powers.
There's a million superhero properties that could be adapted.
Yeah.
But then again, Powers reboot.
I guess it would be way easier to get a failed live action property and make it animation than to go the other way. Nobody's going to be like, well, that cartoon failed, so let's turn it into a live action movie.
The Tick
also failed.
Was that an animation before it was? I know it was a comic.
It was a cartoon. Yeah, it was a cartoon before it was either
Patrick
live.
Warburton.
Yeah, then it was Patrick Warburton.
It was the
one,
new one or whatever. Cool. All right, what do you got for one more
Let's
thing
have a
or two
look.
more
I'll have
things?
one more thing.
What's he got? I bet it's good. What have I got here? I think I was talking about this on Suggestible with Claire. We're always like to each other, why the fuck are we so tired? And they're like, oh yeah, we got a baby.
Right.
Like it's just like, yeah.
Okay, but why am I so tired?
Because we've got a baby. You live here.
It's a good point. That crying baby's always waking me up. Okay, here's a good one. Here we go.
Yes.
Subject. This is from Cheney.
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, Dick Cheney.
Questionable person, Mason.
I agree. I don't mind saying that now. Remember when he shot his mate? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And then his mate apologised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Subject line, bad parenting. Been a fan for years, still get excited for new episodes. As a dad, my youngest daughters have got to the age where they ask to watch things that aren't age appropriate. So now when my wife isn't home, I'll let them watch whatever they want.
Whoa!
I was wondering, James, what bad parenting things do you do? But before we get to that, here is a list of films we've recently watched together. Terminator, The Meg, Deep Blue Sea, Gremlins, Beavis and Butthead Do America, Rick and Morty, Always Sunny, South Park, Freddy Got Fingered, Swamp Thing, Predator, Freddy vs. Jason, Deadpool, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead 2, Child's Play 2, and The Toxic Avenger 1, 2, and 3, plus we watched the UFC together. It was their 6th birthday last week.
That is
But
wild.
my kids are cool and understand to not swear themselves and that everything on screen is fake. My parents let me watch whatever I want at that age, and I grew up to be pretty damn cool. Can I be the
Sounds like
official
it.
bad dad? Boy, absolutely you can. There's a photo of his kids.
Yeah.
They're eating pizza and they're drinking Carlsberg. Cans of Carlsberg. It's great stuff. This is good This is good stuff, Coney. Coney, we're loving this.
I hope that's real.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
James,
that's
bearing in
hilarious.
mind your wife probably doesn't listen to this.
No.
Wow.
I don't really look. It's not to sound like a bit of a nerd, but we're pretty much on the same page. Like we definitely have disagreements about what like stuff that he can watch and like whatever. But I don't sneak stuff.
Yeah,
because
for
also
sure.
there are a lot of kids, and my kid's not really like this.
They will
But they're
tell.
fucking rats, mate.
Yeah, right.
They don't.
Yeah.
They just were like, guess what we did, Dad? We said we weren't gonna have ice cream, but we got me 2 ice creams or whatever. And you know what I mean? And
yeah.
So
And she'd be like, you said you were going to get me 2 ice creams.
But I don't know. Was that something? What about you as a kid? Did your parents have different standards?
I don't think so either, no.
I feel like my parents
Maybe it's a regional
did.
thing.
Yeah, no,
because-
I think my parents did. I think my dad was more like whatever than my mum. Maybe that's because he worked full time and was just like whatever.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I don't know. My dad was more like, watch Terminator 2, and my mum was more like, well, what's the rating? And I need to see this or whatever. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, right.
Would they let you watch anything though?
Yeah, probably. Like, I think I'd probably. I think it was a case of I'd be like, yeah, I'm watching Terminator 2. It's fine for kids, and they'd be
There's
like,
action figures. Yeah.
And I think they'd be like, well, he probably knows more about this franchise than we do, so I guess.
That's true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the thing is, well, because we
Like, I think if I could state my case firmly enough, I think they'd be like, well, I guess so. Like,
you can talk him into it.
if you can argue your way into it, it's probably fine.
Yeah. There's also, that's good though. Like he's made the distinction there of like, they know that it's not real. And you know what I mean? I'd be worried about like either traumatizing my kids or like getting in trouble. Do you know what I mean? With like teachers at school. Because they're like, what have you been showing them?
Yeah.
But I think also like, you just got to read your kid. Like whatever you think your kid is ready for, how they could handle it.
Can they crack a stubby of Carlsberg? You know what I mean? Yeah. Crack a frothy.
I'd love to post that. I won't post someone else's picture.
That's very funny.
That's
Good
very
work.
funny.
You've delighted these two.
I don't want this to become a thing where they're like, well, guess what I did with my kid?
Right.
I put them in a
I put them on
NASCAR.
one. I put them on. I put them on one of those spinning circus boards, and I threw knives at them.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't want this to become a competition.
Barely hit any of them.
Yeah,
Well, let's cleanse the palate. This is from Tyler. He says, "What is Australian Christmas like? Hey, James and Mesa, watch your Tim Allen Santa Claus Caravan of Garbage episode. So staying in holiday spirit, it is currently summer in Australia, yet every Christmas movie shows you winter. Does the Australian version of Christmas reflect the summertime in Australia, or do you just pretend it's that time of year?"
Bit of both.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. People will wear novelty like Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
But it's normally like 30 Celsius over
So
here,
hot.
and everybody who does that is like, I regret this
A
intensely.
minute, yeah, exactly.
The food is a little different, I think.
Yeah, it's more like your warm weather food.
Yeah.
But they'll still do like a roast though,
Yeah, we'll do a
regardless.
roast, yeah.
We might do some cool salads.
Cool salads
Stuff
or
as
like
well.
some prawns, like some chilled
Yeah,
prawns.
a lot of outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Like your barbecues, you set up a long table outside
Yeah.
or whatever. I love it. I reckon it's great. I like hot Christmas. I as a kid I was like, oh, I wish it kind of snowed at Christmas, but now I'm like, since I've seen snow, I'm like, nah, fuck that. Hot Christmas is way better for me. But yeah, I could see. I don't know. What do you think? Would you rather do a cold?
I would like.
I should do it once, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like it to alternate.
Yeah.
Rather. Just one hot, one
Some
hot,
people
one cold
do a
one.
Christmas in June or
That's
July.
true. Christmas, July. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But we also have like the decorations of like they've got snow machines that like shoot like foam and stuff like that.
Oh,
And,
right,
like,
yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's Christmas lights is a big-ish thing, I would
Yeah.
say. In
And of course, obviously,
Australia.
we put Crocodile Dundee on top of the tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we yell at him about his taxes.
That's right, as is tradition,
Yes.
as is in the Bible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do for Christmas this year? Folks?
Yeah.
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 Family.
Family, you know?
Family.
Yeah. Just me and the family and all our coronas. The beer, not the horrible
Not
pandemic.
the horrible pandemic that's
Yeah,
happening
yeah,
in the world.
I should have said Coca-Cola because they transitioned to Coca-Cola in one of the...
Did they?
Yeah.
What if there's a new virus called Coca-Cola?
Oh,
and we have to
man.
go back and edit this out.
God damn it.
Collins should do it though.
Yeah, he
He'd be
would.
so
He's a good
quick on
sport.
it.
Yeah, he's really
because he
good.
edits this show.
That's right.
And he knows it's near the end of the show when you do the wrap up of the show.
That's very correct. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. We really appreciate it. I hope what are you looking forward to this coming year on the DC Slate Thingamajig HBO Max? Did we miss something? What's coming up?
Not from
Not from movies.
Decider.com.
No, definitely not. But if we did, let us know. Let us know about anything you like.
That's right.
At weeklyplanetpod, at Gmail, at Facebook, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collings.
That's right.
He is at
Rob Collins on Twitter.
Rob Collings on Twitter and at The Weekly Planet on Twitter.
That's right.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm Nick Maso, NickMaseEAU. James, you're Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
That's right,
Every
I
gosh
am.
darn where. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies.
Flick us a buck.
Flick us a buck.
Ba-ching.
Flick us a buck for Christmas.
Ba-ching.
That's one of our Christmas traditions.
That's right.
We
Flick a
flick
buck.
each other a buck.
And we flick it at Paul Hogan.
You put the people don't really do that anymore, but they used to put coins in the Christmas pudding,
Oh yeah.
but it
Why?
was poisonous. Probably.
Bad, don't do it.
Don't do that.
Now we flick our coins at Paul Hogan.
That's right.
And he doesn't pay tax on them.
Oh, he just took them. He just took the coins. He took them. Where was I? Oh, yeah. You, flick us a coin for Christmas. Why don't you?
That's right.
Or you can go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description if you're staying home. Go through Amazon. Or you could sign up to bigsandwich.co. We've got all sorts of bonus stuff. We've got movie commentaries. We've got bonus podcasts. We've got videos. We've got all kinds of stuff.
It's good stuff up there.
Before this episode, I thought of a new idea for a new podcast.
I love it.
We're going to start doing a new podcast. We might record an episode this week, and it'll probably come out at some point.
That's right.
Before the end of time.
It's in flux.
It's in
We're
flux,
like, what's
isn't it?
going on?
We're going to figure out the format, but I think it's going to be very good.
It's going to be fun.
And it
People
gives me
like
a chance to talk about all sorts of dumb old characters that I like.
Yeah, and that's what we're
So
about.
it's going to be really good. We've got some T-shirts on tpublic.com. Thank you to The Brute, the Basilisk, and Rackham for all the musical themes. I forgot to mention, we've got the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. Jump on there. Just have some fun chats with
Nice,
all
fun
kinds of
stuff.
nice, fun folks.
That's right.
And all kinds of stuff. That's the whole podcast, I think.
It is, except for reviews, which you can review in app.
I
I've
forgot
got a
about that,
couple
yes.
here. I'll read these out. This is from Hawkeye VHS says, these dudes sound Australian. Great podcast. Like and subscribe and send a reasonable amount of money each month to support their appetite for big sandwiches. Thank you. This is from Sam in Spirit says, best pod ever. I look forward to this podcast every week. Love every podcast on this network, but my love of podcasts started with this one.
Thank you
very much.
very
Really
much. So
appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's great when people leave the review. They can do it in-app. They can do it all kinds of places. But also tell your friends and
Flick us an
and
in-app
flick
review.
us subscribe, do some likes.
That's right.
Those things. Flick us a review.
Flick it over. Don't flick it to Paul Hogan.
He'll take it. He'll claim it for himself. He said he wrote it. He didn't. He just changed your name on it.
Change my name.
What a dog of a bloke.
What a bad person, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Next week, don't know. Whatever.
We'll think of something.
We always think of something.
We always do in the nick of time.
We had another topic, but now we did this topic because of the HBO thing. So it's constantly in flux. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it very much. And goodbye.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Okay, next week we could do the Weekly Planet.
Yeah.
Ginger and pomegranate.
It didn't get funnier. Sometimes these things come around. You know what I mean?
For me. It does for me. James, it does for Weekly Planet Cool Ranch. I'm doing all of them. I'm doing everyone. Oh, gosh, I have a great time. Everybody else's enjoyment's irrelevant, including yours. I just enjoy it when I do it.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.